All right, so what's up? It's official. Dead Zone Monthly. With me, as always, the two Canucks from up north who have recently had a heat wave. It's 30 degrees up there. So, that's why Jack's eating ice. Dead Zone Monthly. With me, as always. Oh, my God. I got to mute myself. Two Canucks from up north. Oh, my God.
Professional.
Very. Professional. You think this is countercharge? What's going on? All right. So we got the chat up. We got Mr. Joe Neat in the house. Say what up, Joe. And what are we doing? We're just hobbying?
I'm just painting my little mans.
Listen, don't get personal now.
I thought that's why we had the video on.
Oh. All right. So we're just doing that. We got the chat up. I don't know if anybody is interested in the chat. If you're in the chat, say hi. We can answer all the questions you want. We can talk about whatever you'd like and so on and so forth. And that's about it. What are you working on? What's everybody working on right now?
I'm working on my Forge Father strike team. Taking a break from the orange of my enforcers so I don't have my eyeballs fall out of my head.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, man. I'm really getting to hate the GCPS.
Yeah, I got that way when I did them. So many.
But right now I'm going to put some decals on.
I'm painting a dwarf.
Yeah, the ones you guys stole from me. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I'm going to put this down here. Do it like that. You see my messy. So, Rob, you ready for the 8th or what? Or the 30th? You ready?
I was like, what's happening on the 8th?
Yeah, I don't know. Something's happening. It's not here.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah,
I'm bringing my Asterians.
Your Asterians?
Yeah.
See some Strider bits on that desk. Some DEADZONE business card right there. Very nice.
Always it's always ready to go right there.
So,
and actually, this is not a business card.
Oh.
So
one of the fancy magnets?
Yeah.
Look at that. Look. Incredible.
Not everybody gets those.
Nope.
What's up, Junkin Garcia? What's up, brother? Working on GCP. Oh, my God. GCPS.
You can't get away from it.
Oh, my God. I've done 80 of them. Actually, tonight I want to finish these Striders. They have the very unsafe open, the open fronts. Not like the Strider from the Enforcers. Thank you very much.
GCPS Striders?
Yeah.
I know. We don't have any specific GCPS Striders.
Well, they're just the regular Strider kits. You just
Yeah, we have all of ours are old school. Well, I guess maybe some of the crazy ones that Jack has there can be GCPS.
Mm-hmm. What about the GC
Warpath Forge Fathers? Everybody's doing Forge Fathers today, it seems like.
Jack's got that GCRS.
No, the GPCD.
No, the
GCPD.
GC Rat here.
Oh yeah, show him the rat. He's on your desk, isn't he?
Which rat?
The Rat Strider.
Oh.
As a preview to tomorrow's, or not tomorrow, Wednesday's.
Oh yeah.
Team building exercise. There he is.
Rob, the award-winning team building exercise.
Yeah, sorry, award-winning team building exercise.
Look at that Stridery rat goodness. Look at him. Look at him.
Look at him.
Feast your eyes on that. Okay, time to get started here.
Yep. So the conquest of Triton. On what's the date again?
July 30th.
July 30th. Yep.
Did we change the start time? Did you change it to 10?
Well, it originally was 10, so 9 o'clock will be kind of preliminaries, and then 10 o'clock we'll start rolling.
Okay.
So, I mean, hopefully I won't have to double check everybody's lists, but I think we should
have people post them to the event page.
Yeah, we could do that. And there's a few newbies might come down too. So, but that's okay.
The two supposedly coming with me are both new. So
okay, but I got we should have enough where we might be able to break them off, and then you can have a like a rookie tournament. After the thinning of the herd, almost.
After the round 1 shellackings.
Well, round 1 and 2, we'll have lunch, and then we'll figure it out from there. And then if we have to do a fifth game, we can do a fifth game, in event of a tie or whatever. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
No painting points or anything.
I guess we'll have best painted.
Hey, I sent enough stuff. We got plenty of stuff to give out.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Between Mantic and then Death Ray Designs, we got a lot of stuff, and there's a few more sponsors in the works. So it should be pretty good. And I told, I was talking with one of the managers there, Joe, and I said, yeah, two of the guys that work for Mantic are actually going to be, oh, really? Oh, what? Oh, okay, great. So I think,
we'll definitely have a chat with them when we get there.
Oh yeah, so I think that'll be, I don't think they're used to that. So
no, most reps don't make face-to-face visits anymore.
No, that's the one thing. I was talking to a coach the other day. We were talking about that because we don't even exchange film anymore. We have a program that you just upload your film, and then you just send it to each other. In the old days, we used to meet each other. And I remember I was meeting one coach. I met his wife and stuff. And she goes, this reminds me of like a movie from like a Cold War movie, like Soviets selling spies and stuff. Because we always meet kind of like in a back alley or something like that.
Exchanging some tapes.
Yeah. How many tapes are you giving me?
Yeah, but for everyone that attends, I think we've got up to 20. One of the unreleased Enforcer Pathfinder sergeants, maybe, or Pathfinder in general. But it's the one that's leaping.
Cool.
But we haven't released it yet, so.
You hear that, Rob?
I'm excited. It makes it all worthwhile now. I almost backed out, but now I'm for sure going.
So basically, at least 20 people who show up, walking in the door, will get a door prize of an exclusive, unreleased model of a special
Enforcer Pathfinder.
Enforcer Pathfinder. That's crazy right there.
It pays to know people.
Duncan saying, hey, we really appreciate the Veerman video did. That's my friends, main army. We're both happy to see the hard work you all did to make them better. Duncan, what do you think, man? Because I played a few games with them recently, and I've been doing pretty well with them. I'm pretty happy with them. So what do you think? I think it's been well received by everyone.
Yeah, if anything, people are complaining. It's too powerful now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't listen. I don't
listen.
No, I don't know about that. Let's
not go that far.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think you get this a lot with a lot of games, and you have the changes, and then it's people are finally winning games. So it's a lot of the times it's more just a perception of these guys never won anything, and now I've won a handful of games. But
Right.
it's also got to do with what's the skill level of the players you're playing with. What's the local meta like. So there's a lot of things that can be that can determine whether or not people have those opinions.
Right, I agree. You know what's funny was the when the Veerman first came out, and I grabbed them, painted them really quick, got them on the table, and played one game with them, and I won that game. Not by I'm not going to say I won it by a big margin, but I won, and it was pretty good. And I'm like, these guys are awesome. These guys are awesome. And then when I played the next 37 games, I said, these guys need work. But it was, like you said, one game, and I just kind of, I just got lucky. I got really lucky. And dice rolls, when I look back on it, I had a lot of really good dice rolls, a lot of really good, just things went in my favor and didn't go in my opponent's favor. So it really, like you said, it depends on the player also. If you know what you're doing, if you got a strategy, all that great stuff.
Strategy.
Well, when I played in the UK, obviously, I had my post about the lack thereof when it came to terrain. But it's stuff like that. I mean, especially as the game grows and we have more stores, starting to either stock the line or hold events. Those situations can happen. It happens in Kings of War and other games that I've played. You'll go to a store, you'll go to an event, and they just play in a different way than you do.
Right.
And I showed up with a all close combat plague army, minus the two, the stage 3s, with heavy machine guns, and it was great the first game, and the other two, it was just sad state of affairs.
But I just found it ironic that you're at HQ where they got tons of the stuff and they didn't use it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was definitely kind of an ad hoc, fun type thing, but most of the people that showed up were not, I'm not going to say they weren't fun opponents, but they came to, to play the game.
Right.
And, I was looking over at the corner of all the remaining train that we had, wishing that it was on the table.
But I know Rob and Jack feel the same way I do, man. It's got to be like fighting in a closet. When you're playing Dead Zone, it's just, you got to earn that +2, man. Well,
and I think if it's not going to be that way, then I think, obviously this was, again, a little different situation, but I think, TOs just have to be very open about, how they use the terrain. Again, it's not going to be as easy as it is for, say, for Kings of War, where you can actually take pictures of the tables. That's starting to become a thing where,
Right.
These are the 5 types of tables that you're going to play on. But I think if you know that hey, look, our store doesn't have a ton of terrain, so things may be a little light, it will affect whether people bring certain lists. Because I certainly would not have brought the list that I did, knowing that.
The list you brought was solid, though. I'll give you that.
Oh no, it was. I mean, I the first game, and again, I played it as best I could, throughout the games that I had. And yeah, I mean, it was fine, and I still gave it. I didn't get wiped, in any of the games, but getting into the later stages of each match, it just became very hard to actually do anything, which made it a little frustrating. And the dice swings I'm not used to. Again, luck is in any game. But some of these things where it was like, I've got, you're thinking, the guy's going to hit on 6s or whatever it is, and he adds a bunch of dice from his command dice, and it's like, oh, you just hit with all of them and 4 8s and another 4 8s, and it's like, oh, okay. That's just a thing for me to get used to, coming from a war game that doesn't have that type of exploding dice system.
Right. Yeah, when you get on the wrong side of an exploding eights, we call that an 8 train.
Oh, it was, yeah, it definitely felt like a train.
But you know what's great about the 8 train is if you got a guy that there's no way you're going to win that combat, and you come out with a bunch of 8s, you pull out that combat.
Yeah. The Dead Zone podcast covering the FAQ is a rather entertaining one that I listened to just yesterday.
Oh, why, thank you. See, Coach, that is how you're nice to us.
I'm sorry, I faded out there for a second. What happened? Somebody said something nice about you guys?
I did.
Yeah.
I complimented them.
Yes, and it is appreciated.
It's good.
Rather than seeing a picture posted that says, hey, just listen to the Dead Zone podcast, screw up the FAQ.
That was actually just a private message to you. That wasn't broadcast.
That's true, but I've now just revealed.
Yeah, you just made it public.
I've pulled back the curtain at the.
Was that the picture?
Coach's meanness.
Was that the picture of me smoking a cigar?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little salty. I was sitting in 4 hours of traffic, so that would do it. It all worked out in your favor in the end, anyway.
Yeah, it did. We got to see a little bit of coach's comedy stylings, but also we learned a valuable lesson on how to be humble when you think you do something good.
Oh no, it's a den of vipers over here. You're not getting away that easy.
Well, I thought it was great. So
You didn't mention my comment right after that, Jack, did you?
I've been working my glutes. It's a lot of squats. So that comment, while being very, very.
All right, let me cut you off right there. All I said was I missed my fellow gentleman caller. If anybody watched the Adepticon video, you're starting to go down a path that I'm going to have to get in my car and drive up to Canada. I do have a passport.
Yeah. I've had a cigar or two since, and it's not the same. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, next year we got to just get it going. So what we're trying to do here, I've been telling Joe, there's a group up in Massachusetts that's running a tournament on August 5th. Unfortunately, I can't make that. But and then there's another group, Joe. That's that guy Walter. Watanabe. I don't want to mess up his name, but he's got a group in Albany. So I don't know how's that. That's a ride for you too, huh? Getting up to Albany.
I think Albany's like 4.5, maybe.
Right.
It's about
Four
the same
and a
to us.
half.
About the same that from us.
Yeah, it's about 4 for us also.
Yeah, so it's kind of in the middle of everybody.
Well, it's 3 hours to get out of Manhattan, and then once I get out of New York City, I'm there in about 35, 40 minutes. Yeah, Albany's about a 3-hour trip for us. Actually, what's nice is if I go to Massachusetts, I could take a ferry, and it's about the same amount of time, but I don't have to drive. So you get a bunch of guys in the car, and we go up by ferry. Right from the middle of Long Island, and we can get up there.
Has he talked about running anything this year, or
Who's that?
Walter?
I talked to Dan, who's the Massachusetts guy, and he said Walter's his buddy, and it's kind of chill, and they run something every now and then. So I told him we should all coordinate, and then think for Adepticon too. And then I don't know if he went last year, but this guy Rick Hall, I think he's the one who drew all those really cool
The T-shirt designs.
Yeah, the plague and all that stuff. And he said he's trying to get to Gen Con. And I said, well, listen, a bunch of us aren't going to Gen Con. I'm sure you guys, some Manta guys will be there, but we're not going. But I said you should shoot for Adepticon. And he says, oh, I'm already going.
Good.
Yo, he's he lives in Alaska.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So, you know, he probably is closer to Adam Voxman than he is to us.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe.
Right? Doesn't Adam Voxman live in like Northwest
He's in
Territory? or
northern
something?
Alberta.
Like the Northwest Territory up there with
Not quite that far, but
Sasquatch and the Yeti and all that stuff.
He's the alpha in a pack of wolves.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Adepticon should be good. Like I said, no matter what I'm doing work-wise, I've already told Ronnie that that's one event I'm going to play in.
Yeah. So we have to try to beat that Spanish tournament, the biggest Dead Zone tournament in the world.
Yeah, they're doing. They've got like 16 or 20 or something like that.
Yeah, that looks good, man. And then the guy's like a goldsmith. He does that for a living, so his
Trophies are crazy looking.
yeah. we gotta raise our standards over here, man. We gotta jump up to that level.
Yeah, when he put up the MSRP of the trophies, at first it didn't really click what he was saying, and then I looked and I was like, oh, he's making them.
Right. That's awesome. He messaged me. He's like, it's only a 12-hour trip by plane. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. He said the same thing to me on Facebook, and that's not. It's funny. That's not the problem. The problem is the $2,000 it's going to take to get there for 4 or 5 games. That's
what I said too.
Because I messaged Andrew Sharp about coming over for Adepticon. And it may happen. I mean, he was looking at flights the other day, and they found some for like $500 or $600, which again is still an investment, but much cheaper than anything I've ever seen with going the other way. So
right.
But just got to get ready for that 150 points.
I guess. You have to come down, I guess, to the minor leagues and play 150.
That's right. Slum it.
And Joe is dead set. No matter what I say or do, he will not listen.
Well, see, now it's just a point of principle since you push so hard. But I certainly can't just be like, all right, well, we'll just do 200.
All right. Well, let me ask you a question. Just between us, nobody's listening anyway. So, I made some valid points.
Oh, I don't disagree with any of your points. Obviously, that's been kind of the go-to, but you can't say that it doesn't add a different element to the game to switch the points.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And it will, no matter what your skill level is, whether you're a rookie, this is your first game or whether it's your 100th game, playing, no matter what the point change is, playing at a different point value is a different game.
Yep, for sure.
And my big thing was, again, it really kind of started out as a joke initially, but Pat and I had talked about it when I was out in Chicago, and you see a lot of these people, oh, the 4 Teraton list, I don't like playing against that. This list is boring. I don't like that. Well, the easiest way to fix that is you just reduce the points. And now you can't put those 4 Teratons in your list.
But then you can't play dwarves.
Well, you can. You just have to play with things you normally wouldn't.
You're just going to have 2 dwarves on the board.
Well,
yeah. I mean, will you play with an Iron Ancestor? Probably not.
You can't play with that at 200 points.
Well, I have mine. I mean, there's 4, 5, 6 models on the table. All I'm saying is that it doesn't. I don't want to get into a position where we're just constantly playing 200 because people just say, well, that's what you have to do.
They got to get variety for sure. That's good.
I don't care one year if we go to 250. I mean, I don't know, again, obviously we got to make sure it fits into, the parameters and time for, for whatever event there is. But, I'm not saying to come out and play in a 75-point event, but.
my thing was, I'm just saying that, like, I was thinking of it as looking at Adepticon as the Super Bowl, and if everybody's playing 200, that would be like all right, bring your 200-point list and let's go and see who's the best at that point limit. And then next year, if we want to do 150, everybody start playing 150, practice at it, and then go.
And no, I mean, I can see that. My counterpoint to that is that for an event like Adepticon, and we did this years ago with Kings of War, that if you want to be the best and be the one who is the best at the game, in my opinion, I would rather put someone in a unfamiliar position to see how well they adapt. You know, anybody can become, you know, good at something if they have a full year to practice. You know, if we all grind games at 150, well, obviously we're going to be better at that point value. But if we go through multiple events throughout the year and we play at 200 and at 150 and at 125, and then, you know, we go, oh, okay, well, Adepticon's 175. Well, we've never played at that point level. So now, you know, my opinion, obviously, not needs to be shared by everybody, but.
All right, so let's see. No, I agree, but I'm just saying, you know what? To me, honestly, it doesn't matter to me. I just prefer to play 200. I'll play at 150. I'll pay at 60 if you want to. I don't. At this point, it doesn't really matter. It's just, you know, let's start rolling dice. Yeah, we are as well. Push them to be less finicky to play. Dwayne says he has won with them, but they were much more unwieldy, and some games I just trashed them. Hey, it's McKay. Said hi. Good videos. It's going to be lit. Yep, everything's going to be lit. Uh-oh, Bill is here. Hey, Bill, you want me to send you a link so you can jump in with us? Or are you like in Florida or some getting the Zika virus or something?
The Zika.
Last time we did this, he was in Florida. We get the old, yep, there he is. See, I said let's get Terrainaholic on here, and then Jack said no, but I was like, you know.
Bill knows that would be a bold-faced lie. He knows better than that.
Only the Shadow knows, Jack.
Shadow Stevens, center square.
Shadow Cat.
Ooh.
Bill, send it to Sue or send it to you.
Tell you what I am angry about is the fact that they made bases be able to be shot at. Let me tell you that.
Thank you.
Oh,
Sheila's
that's 1,000. Joe Neat knows his stuff. He is on fire.
If this is the way the RC is going to work, then I'm going to have to step in more often. Then
That's right. We want some oversight on this thing.
He has not been wrong yet.
You could step in, but you know what is like what is that going to do? Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. That's the one. You guys know how I feel. I'm not going to say anything.
He's being diplomatic.
I am being diplomatic.
When he's with the RC, he's like, yeah, those guys are all wrong.
Are we also including the when my model gets knocked down and the base is then propped up? That counts too.
That's always counted.
That's ridiculous.
Thank you.
It's an imaginary thing. It's not a real thing.
Joe, you know when you walk into a room and like there's something there and you say like, hey, what's going on here? And they say, oh, well, don't worry about that. That's already been like that. It's that kind of a situation. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So I think the bases should matter, but like when you have a base around the corner and you could see the whole model, head to toe, rooted to tutor, and the base is covering, or the whole base isn't there, that's an issue. But the way it is now is you can shoot from the base. You can actually shoot from the base, yeah. Bill, you're all set. Click it.
Guess we can't have it all.
No.
That's right. That's what we said. If we had everything, we wouldn't have anything to complain about.
Listen,
Literally what we said.
but all in all, it's very good. I'm very proud of the changes.
Oh no, you guys did a great job. I'm really just ball busting at this point. I mean, I don't agree with that. But again, the point of having the RC is to make those decisions. So I respect the call that was made. Oh no, you guys did a great job. I'm really just ball busting at this point. I mean, I don't agree with that.
Turn down the radio.
The point of having the RC is to make those decisions. So I respect the call that was made. Oh no, you guys did a great job. I'm really just ball busting at this point. I mean,
Bill, you got to Facebook.
Turn down the radio.
How you doing?
Everybody say Bill, 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 Bill.
Am I messing up?
The sound.
Make it stop.
All right, Bill, did you mute YouTube?
Kill it?
Shut Facebook.
No, just mute YouTube or shut it off.
Okay. Let's go hang out. Okay. Where's? Oh, okay. So I got to click on Facebook.
Shut Facebook.
Okay. Hold on. Move your hand.
The YouTube.
Okay. Sorry, guys.
It's all right. That was. Woo! Hey, Bill. That sound made somebody very, very sad.
Bill, I don't know what to do anymore. I hear the noise and now I'm sad.
Bill?
Yeah.
Oh, you still got YouTube going.
Very, very sad.
Bill, you got to turn off your YouTube.
Bill.
You realize Coach is gonna like break both of them down.
Holy Christ.
This is your fault for inviting him on, Coach. That's all I'm saying.
Holy smoke.
I've never heard this before in my life.
I'm going to the control room. All right.
I am so sorry, guys. This is what happens when you invite a noob.
All right. Did you shut off YouTube? No, you didn't.
Yeah, I killed everything now.
I can still hear it.
My apologies, guys. I'm as advanced as a Neanderthal at computers.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, Bill, I'm still sad.
Oh, man. Did I scare away Joe?
Nah, man, I'm here. I'm recovered.
Dude, yeah, you're recovered. I heard something about they're going to put out additional types of formations for KW, and I realized I'm on a dead zone thing.
Don't start talking Kings of War.
Do you know anything about it? Or can you point me in the direction of something?
I got it. Bill, shut it down and then click back into it. Shut off YouTube, but keep Facebook open.
Might be a speaker
I
still.
already did that.
No, like leave. And
Am
come
I still being weird? Am I still messing you up?
No, leave and come back. You sound like a Necron.
Oh,
What's a Necron?
Well, I don't know about you. My ears are killing me.
I have you guys turned way down so I didn't get killed.
Bill came in like a bull in a china shop.
He was ready.
Yeah, you know, like we were talking about that. Some of the decisions you got to make with the rules committee, it's a little bit tougher than you would think.
Oh, sure.
You know, it's you know, I don't know if you guys know. I have kind of sometimes I got an opinion once in a while, but it's
Just
like
a little bit.
What to keep in, what not to keep in, what to use, what not to use. It's you know, and certain things I was dead staunch, like, no, it's got to be this way, it's got to be this way, it's got to be this way, and then the other four guys chime in, and you're like, oh, you know what, I see your point, and you have to kind of, you got to, you know, got to get along before you go along.
No, like I said, I mean, there's going to always be things that, you know, and again, it's no different than playing a game. I mean, it's all, you know, what the perspective is, or, you know, but I think, as we said, when we got the ball rolling, the main thing was to get it out.
Yeah.
It needed to be out, so we got it out.
Yeah, that's great. That was the best part. And the Veerman list is coming along. GCPS is coming along.
GCPS should be done, I believe.
So Joe, what are we waiting on that? It's ready to go, right? Is it?
So yeah, I mean, the big thing with all that stuff is, I mean, I know I keep saying it, and I sound like a broken record, but it's the formatting. And people may say, "Oh, I don't get it." You know, you got people that work there for you that can do that, but there's really only 2 people in the office that can do that and do it correctly for the website. So I think we've got somebody else on it next week that we had in the office doing some other stuff for us. So yeah, so no, it just needs to get formatted and put up. We heard some flack because the Dungeon Saga one got put up, but whoever did that, one of the members of that RC, actually did the formatting himself.
Okay.
So if anyone on the Dead Zone Rules Committee can do formatting for website publication, then
So we could blame them for it not coming up because they don't have the skills.
exactly.
Makes sense.
Get good.
Yeah, I don't
do that.
yeah, I don't, you know, I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
Well, I've got a guy. It's Bill Foreman. You may have heard of him. He is a whiz with all of technology, and
We need to get him on it.
he will whip that thing into shape, no problem.
All right, Bill, I'm going to send you the link again for the 3rd time. What? No. Let's try that again, Mr. Foreman.
I think it's his speaker, personally.
No, he's saying it's not giving him access.
Did you kick him off?
No, I didn't do anything.
Banned.
Dan hammered him.
Tell him to click that link, and you'll be fine. I mean, that's the same link I've sent to everybody, so it should work. Or maybe make those hamsters run faster in your PC like Jack does.
I tore those hamsters right out.
So now, Jack, how's Windows Vista working for you? Working good, or?
He wishes he still had that.
Yeah, if Windows, if the greed of their corporation wasn't paramount rather than Windows security, well, I would still be running Vista. But no, it's been a nightmare ever since they said we're not. Yeah, there's some holes in our security in Vista, and we're not going to fix them. So
Why fix them when you could just come up with a whole new thing and charge everybody?
that's what they tried. So I'm certain that my computer is less secure now than it was. But
Are you the minion or
I'm back. It doesn't matter what I am.
Are you the minion or terrainaholic though?
Doesn't matter.
Sounds great.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Man.
Awesome.
There you go.
No
Very,
silent.
very happy.
No echo. It's all good.
Cool, cool, cool.
Jack, you all right? You still there, Jack?
He's drinking.
yes,
Jack's
yes,
defending me.
Okay. I just wanted to, somebody wants to talk to you.
That's okay.
You got thumbs down.
That's okay.
Jack. How are you?
Hey, Georgie, how's it going?
Oh, it's going pretty terrible. How are you?
Oh no. I want to know why, and I want to know how I can help.
Exactly. Anyway, I was too busy yelling at Bill about the noise, and I didn't get to say hi to you.
That's all right.
Oh, you're in under Bill.
It doesn't matter what I'm under.
Don't worry, Bill. I still like you.
I make it hard, though.
Red Path Zone said, "Wish I wasn't at work, y'all. That'd be real good for me."
Oh, we would have the whole bunch here. Oh my God, this would be awesome.
Yeah, but you know.
Oh, that guy's he's too busy for us now. That
Yeah.
kid. In the newsletter every other time.
Why have you guys not gone up to Gorilla Miniatures and played some Dead Zone?
Yeah, what happened with that? That guy dropped Dead Zone like a bad habit.
That's because he has no one to play with. He's waiting for Rob and Jack.
Oh.
We tried to get him at Depthcon. We couldn't find him.
Oh, he was a celebrity there. Get him in his backyard, though. He'll play anybody.
Are we not doing phrasing anymore?
So, Rob, are we going to win our the mod cubes?
Yeah, you're entered. That's right.
Did
Cool.
anybody else enter?
Oh yeah, there's quite a few people.
That's
Oh,
good.
bummer.
That's
I
awesome.
We were
entered.
hoping.
Coach tried to enter, but I refused him.
I'm not
Jack
even
entered though.
I'm not even an employee.
Jack's entered into it though, so it's all good.
Shameful, Coach. Shameful trying to get into a contest like that is.
Jack put a good argument
You know
though.
what?
If he
You know
wins,
what
I don't
it
think
is. You didn't fight hard enough to get those bases removed.
That's right.
Listen, I'm gonna smack each one of you in all right. You guys know how I feel. I don't gotta go over my feelings on that. I have the bases don't matter hashtag shirt.
We should
Right.
make shirts for next Adepticon. Rock some shirts.
So Bill, what happened? You're not coming to New York, huh?
Yeah, I'm
We're
not.
going to Gen Con 10 days later.
We're going to Gen Con 10 days later.
You made the right choice.
And we're going to be, like, totally camped out pretty much at the Warpath table. I am bound and determined to learn this system.
Warpath or
It'll be
Firefight?
awesome because we'll be able to play this from Dead Zone all the way up to Warpath.
Will there be
Not
Warpath at Gen
Taking
Con?
into consideration Star Saga. This is going to be amazing.
Yeah, Mike's going to be sick of you.
Are they playing Dead Zone at
Yeah, we're in it.
Oh, and we're in the Dead Zone tournament at Gen Con.
No
I
tournament.
expect you to win, Bill.
No tournament, just playing.
Just send me a list, Coach. It's worked really great so far.
We are not in a tournament. We are
Oh.
just playing.
Oh, sorry, we're not in the tournament. We're just playing.
They're not having a tournament.
I guess they're not having a tournament.
No, but
We are not.
on July 30th, there's a big tournament. Bill, if you come on the 30th, you will receive a Pathfinder exclusive miniature that is not for sale.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's going to pay our airfare.
Right. Will that pay for the airfare?
No, but you should go see Gorilla Miniature, and since you're close to New York, you should just come see us. Bill
How
didn't believe.
close are you to
Maybe next
Niagara Falls? Oh,
No,
that's
Bill-
right. You're like
We went
8
through
hours.
that.
Yeah, you're like 8 hours away.
Maybe
We're close to Niagara Falls. You could have come seen us.
He didn't want to
We
come see
plan
you.
on doing that, Rob.
We actually want to head up there next year because I have yet to meet a Canadian I don't like.
No, I thought that was going to go somewhere else. I've yet to meet the Canadian I liked.
It's like you guys are all gamers. It's awesome. All the Canadians I know game. It's amazing.
You have to come to St. Catharines, though.
It is so freaking awesome.
So, Bill, I stole your idea and I magnetized these Striders.
Oh, cool. Hey,
Yes.
if anybody can do a better job than me, it's you.
I don't know about that, but I appreciate the compliment.
I like your color scheme. That navy blue looks awesome.
Yeah, you know what's the worst part? When you paint for somebody else and it comes out good, you got to give it to them. That sucks.
Oh, see, I don't do that. The moment my paintbrush touches a miniature, it is mine.
Speaking of brush on miniatures, Bill, I saw your loot from Bones. Has any of that got put together and painted?
Why don't you ask about Bones like 1 and like 2?
Oh,
None of them have been painted.
oh, there's a lot of dragons there.
Oh my god, that Tianat is the best though.
He's huge.
Yeah, love him. Now you guys got in on Bones as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Did you get the Titans of the Tide?
No.
I got that, and I want to put that in with the what's the water army?
Trident Realms?
Trident Realms. Yeah, I want to use that shipwreck golem for like some kind of giant. I don't even care if it's like an ogre giant that I can take as a no, they'll be. Oh, are we sharing?
Good, or go
Get another one. I feel bad. I'm not painting any minis with you guys.
Yeah, what are you doing, man? You
Maxing and relaxing.
How often do you guys get together and group paint?
publicly or privately?
Any and all.
We're good for once a week.
Once a week? Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Can you guys Facebook me when you do that? Because that might get me actually painting something.
We should add Bill to the Facebook group.
Bill's too nice for that group.
That's true, maybe.
I'll swap you.
Yeah, ignore the language, Bill. I'll add you to the group.
Awesome. Yeah. I think this would be just fantastic. All you guys are great painters.
Well, that's...
Rob, just
We're
Facebook
painters.
me.
I think Rob is a really good painter. He just takes crappy pictures.
Well, that's probably true, too.
What
There
was
you go,
that?
Bill. I'll add you to the group.
When we were doing a hangout, and you sent a picture, and you're like, "Oh, my flash didn't go off." No, that looks great.
Well, I have a crappy camera. I just have my phone camera. So.
Well, if you had a real camera, a real phone, it would have been okay. But
You guys are
My
all
old phone's
way
real
too
good.
technologically inclined for me.
We were just very excited to set our big screen TV up on YouTube.
Oh, that was so awesome.
yeah, that's actually pretty cool to watch, to stream something on a big TV. It's nice.
Mhm.
We had the guy that we were playing the game with actually like said,
I felt bad because I spanked his army fairly hard.
In what? Kings of War or Dead Zone?
Yeah,
Is that the one you just put up?
I almost tabled him. The only thing he had left on the board was a war machine, and it was dominate. So it's like, why even bother going after it? Just sit in the middle and make the points. But then he turned around and spanked Sue. So
Phrasing?
but I still felt it was a win since he set our TV up.
right, yeah, we're gonna count it as a win-win, regardless of that. I have a quick question for you guys. Have any one of you guys played through the campaign for Dead Zone yet? Just to see how it scales compared to other games like, say, Mordheim or any of the other skirmish level games?
We don't do campaigns because there's only 2 of us, so it
Gotcha.
doesn't really work.
We're gonna Pat sent us a whole campaign thing and how to do it. So we're gonna try to do that, and we're gonna tape it.
That's cool. Maybe we can, Sue and I can make, war bands and join the fray.
Yeah.
That would be super cool.
So I don't know if you were listening before. What do you think of Adepticon next year for Dead Zone is going to be 150, Bill?
I'm happy to play at any points value, but I have to admit, the 200 point amount gives you it lets you pick things that you normally wouldn't pick for the points values. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And and in that sense, it's kind of nice. I think what might happen if you go to smaller points values is I think the army lists are going to become a bit generic.
Yeah, it's only so much you can pick. I agree with that.
You know, everybody's gonna have to min-max because you only have, you know, X number of points to play with.
I didn't know that there was 150 point models.
To change things up, especially with the Veerman, so that's going to keep things fresh for a while. And I absolutely love that you guys went after the Avatar way of looking at the baby mechs essentially.
Oh, the Strider.
They can climb. Yeah, I love that because that makes them, and being able to suppress them it just didn't make any sense. So,
speaking our language.
So yeah, I absolutely love those changes that were made.
See, that makes me feel better.
It makes the game so much more. In a fantasy game, it's making it more real.
I always saw the Striders. You know, I'll talk a little Grimdark for a bit. You know, in 40K, the Striders are the Dreadnoughts are like
right
Space Marines that were like destroyed, and they're like in a sarcophagus. And I see the Striders in Dead Zone and Warpath as like vibrant war machines, like exactly like Avatar, because that mother scratcher was awesome.
It was, especially when they jumped out of that flaming ship and got out of the way.
Did you just say Avatar was awesome?
No.
Yeah. The what's it called? The Strider in Avatar.
Oh, okay.
The blue Avatar, not Last Airbender.
Yeah. Either way, I just want to make sure we're not talking about the actual movie. It's in itself.
Okay. Well, the movie.
You don't own it?
I thought the movie was okay, so I don't see why. You know.
We've got Avatar. I've never seen The Last Airbender, actually.
You didn't miss much.
Okay.
The TV show is good.
I really liked when you guys brought up those sci-fi movies that had the equivalent of the dog drone.
Oh yeah.
That was because a lot of people don't. You know, sometimes they've got to see like a movie to really get it. You know, sometimes just looking at the model, it doesn't really convey what it's supposed to be. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I like that movie Spectral. It was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Rob, didn't you say that was like supposed to come out years ago, but something was wrong with it?
Well, they lost their distribution for a while, and then eventually it came out on Netflix. But it was made in like 2014 or something.
It was a Netflix original.
Yeah, well, that's what they call it now, but it wasn't actually. It was like Universal or Paramount or one of those actually made it. Just never released it.
Mm. It was cool though.
Yeah, they were definitely dog drones.
Mm-hmm. So, Coach, are you going to run a bunch of different camo styles with your army?
For which faction?
Well, you were talking about your desert camo enforcers, and I'm seeing these Striders in blue. Or are these actually for the GPS?
No, these are the GCPS open cockpit.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
So I think I did the Bill Foreman. See if you could see the we lock on target.
Oh, that's so cool.
Then you could switch them out, you know.
Oh, that is so badass.
Then if you want, you can go like two left hands.
Oh, rockin', yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if there's rule for that yet, but hopefully.
Frenzy 2.
Frenzy 2, yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so this is blue and yellow color scheme for the GCPS for E-Rock.
Nice.
So we're going to start, once this is done, we can get some firefight videos going up.
That's good.
This
Need more of that stuff.
so much fun.
Yeah, firefights, I like Warpath, but I kind of lean towards firefight.
Is that from your 40K background?
I think that's what it is. It's filling that niche for me.
Sure, sure.
You know, I do love rolling buckets of dice.
Right. Who doesn't love that? Ooh. I will type something back.
The one good thing about playing 40K those years is I know how to paint assembly line style.
That's the only way I paint, man. I can't remember the last time I painted an individual figure.
That's the only way Jack paints.
That's right.
Individual figures.
I don't assembly nothing. I probably will for the GCPDS, but
Kind of have to. There's too many of them.
Oh man, yeah, but you know what happened was
So many of those guys, it's crazy.
so I did the whole Kickstarter one, and then he had a bunch of I don't know in the Kickstarter, did it come with the older guys, the guys with the open masks?
No.
Are you talking the older sculpts?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got the older. I went in on the first time that it came out, so I've got like the really old Marauder orcs that kind of look like standard. You know, that was before they had like the whole military, you know, proper uniform thing going on. So it's kind of cool. I hope they do something with those guys.
Mhm.
Make them, I don't know, feral like.
Weren't they the Goran ones?
Camp kind of thing.
Yeah, they'll be the Goran our auxiliaries. That's
Well,
what they'll be in
Awesome.
Warpath.
Well, that you mean in Warpath or in Dead Zone?
Warpath.
Well, I mean, right now they're only in Firefight and Warpath, but
Right.
Because I really loved the look of because they were using the same base as they did for the KOW. So they got like lots of like leather and like parted out metal armor. And they look very Mad Max-ish. I really like the style.
yeah, people dog on them. But I like the original Marauders that we did.
I did paint up a bunch of them. They're down in my basement somewhere. I have yet to find them though.
People complain about everything, though. So,
Yeah.
Oh, they do.
We will find
You know,
them next week.
Right.
When it comes to that, do what you think is right, and then just you worry about it later.
Well, it was funny. I think you guys did it on the Dead Zone podcast when you were talking about when you went over the new releases and you were talking about the militia.
mhm.
Oh, that
And-
was awesome.
And I think
Glad
Jack
they brought them
said,
back.
yeah, he's like the sculpting on these they're getting better. They have not changed at all.
That's the original sculpt.
Like they are the original ones that we put out that everybody told us was was just horrible. These are horrible. Why would you put these out? So it was a very like, awesome feeling to know that Jack was like, oh yeah, these they're getting better. These look like they're older than like some Kings of War kits.
Yeah.
You know those the militia look kind of Kings of War-ish.
Well, they are. They're the same frame. They're the dwarf
Right.
frame.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But
I think they look great.
Now they're
Um,
not better to me than the Steel Warriors, but
Yeah, the Steel Warriors are awesome. It's just I really suck with that many parts. Modeling is not a strong point of mine, so
you gotta when you're doing the Steel Warriors or anything. I did it with the GCPS. The worst part of anything is when you have the two arms that lock into a rifle.
oh my god.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so this is what you do. All right, hear me now, but listen to me later. You take green stuff, you put a little extra yellow in it, just a little bit, and you make your green stuff, and then you make yourself into like a sausage, and then you cut little pieces of it, like little booger snots, and then you take that booger snot and you put it in. So you would put it like, say, on here, put the glue on it, and then stick it in there, and you give it about 10 seconds, and it sticks, but you could actually maneuver it, and after about 5 minutes, it's completely sets. And I did that for all my Steel Warriors, all my.
That's what I need to do.
Even the Veerman with the holding the rifle, and I did it like that, and it made life a lot easier. It's another 5-6 seconds, putting together the green stuff, but it's definitely worth it. It saves you a lot of headaches later on, which is
exactly I was dying. And I don't know why. Usually I don't have this much problem, but for some odd reason, the new Enforcer legs were just giving me absolute hell.
Oh, yeah, they're pretty bad. Well, it's funny. I used to do the green stuff, but I use do you guys use the Rapid Cure for super glue at all?
Oh, the spray?
Yeah, well, yeah, but see, I don't spray it. But what I'll do, like what I did with my Steel Warriors, was I put glue on all the joints where they would go. But I don't ever actually use the spray. I just take the nozzle off, and then I just put it on one of the. So I just dab it on one of the joints where it goes. So only one joint gets the accelerant, because it does make the bond weaker. So only one of the joints gets the accelerant, but everything else hardens like normal super glue, but it holds it for you, so that you don't have to. So you can do it Coach's way, if you have green stuff out. But I hate putting that stuff to, like, mixing it together, having it out, like having to cut it. Obviously, Coach's way is better for heavier stuff. So if you're doing anything metal, I'd probably say go the green stuff route.
True. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't done a lot of metals of late. I usually, if I'm assembling an army, anything that's metal is usually the last thing that I'll put together, because I know that's going to be a headache. Just because, sometimes plastic and metal just don't play nice together.
Yeah, I try to stay away from metal as much as I can. Yeah. Unless they're character figures, because typically the joints are a lot better. And I only have to put together one or two of them. But units,
usually a set angle as opposed to a range. Can't tell you how excited Sue got when she saw your 1-minute Warpath video on Mantic, and she goes, "Are those the dwarf tanks?" I'm like, "Yup, you're getting those."
Oh, they're great kits.
Yeah, DEADZONE Path did a really nice how they fit together, and man, you guys.
We don't talk about that video.
You don't talk about that or that channel. Speaking of that, do you guys have a Third Sphere podcast out yet, or no?
Monday.
Awesome. I was hoping I didn't miss it.
Actually, you were talking about the Gorans, and I interviewed Pat, and we talked strategy with Warpath and how he's going to run his Gorans and stuff. So that's a definite listen for anybody who's interested in.
Wait a minute.
Joe
Pat
was on fire when they were playing Firefight. Oh my god, Joe is just scary.
Oh, I'll put the boots to you.
Yeah, definitely. I still laugh when I think about that guy that you kicked his list around, and he won so many games with that list.
What? So Pat was saying that he's going to run Goran now.
He was saying that he might add them to the list because, and it's a good strategy because, when you as opposed to other games where you kill a unit and you get points for it, it comes out to, to get a victory point, you need to kill like 10% or 12, 20%, whatever.
Yep.
The Gorans are so cheap, like the Veerman, if you run 5 or 6 units or teams of them and you waste time killing them, you're going to not really get as many victory points as you would as saying killing a more expensive unit.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we had an argument when we first got the book about the effectiveness of the Goran, and he was like, "Oh, I'm never going to run them," and I'm like, "You are ridiculous! Like mobs of units in this game are where it's at."
right.
And he was just like, "Oh, no." Because I was pushing him to run the Goran Stalkers with Major Lauren Chad, whatever her name is.
Yeah, try.
And the +1 to hit on those guys, making them accuracy 2+ is ridiculous.
Oh my god, that is good. Now, the Goran considered more melee based?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the initial, the one unit, yeah. But then the Stalkers have, recon. They've got toxic grenades.
Ooh.
But,
that's nasty.
I think more people are gonna, because I see all these lists, on Facebook, and again, obviously people are gonna play to, what their play style and preference is, but like no
Also-
one runs.
Also, you're going to play with what you have.
No, that's true.
That
Yeah,
too.
for sure.
Yeah.
But even just in like list theory building, I see people just, oh yeah, I would like to run this, and it's like, where are your like troops at? Like, I don't understand.
Going ultra elite?
And you can, I mean, you definitely can, but
You can't afford the mistakes is I think the problem.
well, and I think the smaller you go in a list, you're just too reliant on the refresh order. And depending on what list you run, like Asterians, their character, the Overseer gets 4 command dice, but he's 140 points, 145 points base. So, you're, to keep him around or, to keep him survivable, I mean, you're spending 150, 160 points, whereas I pay that for, the first gen for my Plague, but he's an absolute monster in combat.
Yeah. Plus, I think you can hide him more easily, too. There's a lot of height 2 troops in that army.
Well, no, you can hide him, and he gives protection, which is good, but you're spending 150 points, 160 points to protect him, and just for the 4 command dice. But yeah, no, I'm super excited for Firefight at Adepticon.
Are we in on that, honey? Oh, that's Adepticon. Never mind. Hey, by the time Adepticon comes around, I'm going to know what I'm doing. Woohoo!
Good thing Sue's there.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd be a mess, Bill.
So speaking of Adepticon, since we have all of you guys in here, I think Coach, you were in the private message that I sent to a couple of people.
Yes.
About the issue we have now is that we have so many games that we run that last year a lot of people were complaining that events overlapped. I couldn't play in Dead Zone and Kings of War because they were, I think they were was it Friday? They both started. Saturday.
It was Saturday.
Yeah. So, we're trying to accommodate, but one of the things I had said to Coach and a couple other guys was the Thursday. Nobody wants to do anything on Thursday because they're like, oh, well, I've got to come in early, or it's just, it's the first day, but it is the first day of the event. So what is everybody's opinions on stuff happening on Thursday, as opposed to having to wait a full day to actually get events going?
Well, we always take the full 4 days off. There's 2 conventions that I go to every year. I go to Adepticon, I go to Gen Con. And I take full 4 days for each one. So Sue takes 5. So.
And you guys are local too, so if an event happened later in the day on Thursday, even if you weren't off work, you could still possibly make it.
Yep.
But for guys like Jack, you guys coming down, what is your mindset on things like that?
I for us, we lucked out on when we were able to get a train and we were able to. Everything worked out for us. If it was an event that first day, that would work. That would work just fine for us last Adepticon and maybe hopefully the next one. I don't see a problem with it. Like you said, it is the first day of the event. So having something on there isn't outrageous. Like, it's the first day.
Yeah, we came in Wednesday anyways. We come in
Yep.
the day before to help set up and stuff. So.
And because what the thing I had proposed, and now obviously this isn't me saying that I'm dictating the show. Obviously Pat, is the boss when it comes to the shows. But we had talked about running Dreadball and Dead Zone on Thursday, and one of the things that has always bothered me is people complaining about there being multiple events, different events in one day that run kind of back to back. And I'm looking to play at this Adepticon. So in my opinion, if I go to a convention to play games, I'm there to play games. I want to play from the time I get up to the time I go to bed. So we had talked about having, say Dreadball starting in the morning at 8 or 9, running till 2 or 3, and then kicking the Dead Zone event as kind of the second half of the day. What is everybody's feeling on something like that?
Well, Dead Zone took all day last time, didn't it?
I don't know the Dreadball very well, but definitely for like Dead Zone or Warpath or any of those, yep, count me in.
You just go later in the night. I think
my 40K equivalent.
Yeah, because it ended at like 5 or something, right? The Dead Zone. So if you went to like noon to 9 or something instead.
Yeah, and because you look at a lot of other events that go on, 40K, Age of Sigmar, even the Malifaux events. I mean, they run all through the night. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I want to have people up until 2 in the morning, but at the same time, if we want to try to get all of these events in for everybody and have people playing multiple events, we're gonna need to break an egg somewhere, and obviously somebody's gonna be unhappy. But we're trying to make it.
I think that's better. Starting later is always better for me personally.
Yeah.
Joe, you just got to figure a way to figure it
late
in.
anyways.
What'd you say, Coach?
I said you got to figure a way to figure it in, then you figure it out. That's all. Just you make a time and that's it. Because there's no way that everybody's going to play everything and get to everything and be happy. So the time is the time. We're going to play Dead Zone at 3 o'clock. Then we play Dead Zone at 3 o'clock. I'll tell you what. I might even play some Dreadball.
Well, and that was our thing, is that we know that a lot of the customers that we have play multiple games of ours.
Right.
And that was the biggest thing we heard. And it was actually from the Dead Zone tournament. Guys were like, I would have liked to, like David Baker, was like, I would have loved to have played, but Kings of War is kind of his primary thing. He played in the 2-day event. It would have been great to have, Dead Zone and Dreadball on Thursday. Friday can be the firefight tournament plus some other stuff, mega battles or, scenario-driven games for guys who just like casual stuff. And then do Kings of War Saturday, Sunday, because Kings of War is always the one that just soaks so much resource from us that I would hate to just put events, side by side. Because, again, guys who are going to choose, most likely, if they're coming out, driving out, flying out, they're going to pick a 2-day event.
Well, I mean, depends on what you play. You're gonna ask me, would you like to play in Dreadball, Dead Zone, or Kings of War? Well, I'm coming out to play Dead Zone. I don't really, I don't need a 2-day event because that's the game I play and that's the one I want to play. So I'm going to play the game I want to play. Now, freeing up that, maybe I'll play Kings of War for the weekend.
Well, and
exactly.
My thing is, if we want to grow the event,
right?
We're gonna need to eventually get some of these things on their own days because we did probably lose maybe 4 to 5 guys to the Kings of War event.
Honestly, I think it was more than that.
Yeah, it could have been 10.
Funny, Joe, is you lost 2 from the Kings of War for the Dead Zone.
Yeah, and vice versa.
My wife play the Kings of War 2-day.
Yeah, so that's kind of our thing. And I think obviously we're, like Coach said, we're gonna just have to pick a time, put the schedule up, and let the chips fall where they may.
And you know what? I'll tell you what. Dead Zone a little later. That means we could sleep in.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most gamers stay up late anyways.
What's that?
Most gamers, when they go to convention, that I've noticed, most gamers stay up late anyways.
Yeah. And one of the other guys in the chat that I had was talking about Dreadball, And my thing is, I think sometimes TOs are a little bit too lax on the time that they give for events, especially at these conventions. You're doing something at your local store or a smaller con. Hey, look, you want to have 3.5 hour rounds, do what you want to do, But I think when you come to an event like Adepticon, you need to be very kind of on the button, like we're doing hour and 45-minute rounds or an hour and a half rounds for Dreadball or what have you. Some guys may not like it. They may say, hey, that's going to make me, feel like I'm rushed, but you gotta do some things to change that up. So we have a guy that says he can run Dreadball from, 9 to 1. Well, that's fantastic, because then we can do a 2-hour break, start Dead Zone at 3 o'clock. And even if it goes for 7 hours, you're done by 10 o'clock.
Yeah, but if you go 4 rounds, with an hour break, Dead Zone you could say an hour and a half, but it's not going to be an hour and a half. Well, I mean, everybody but Bill.
What is the time that you guys set for rounds normally?
Honestly, we could do 200 points in an hour.
All right, so 150 we're doing in an hour, yeah?
Yeah, I would say give an hour and 15 just just in case.
Okay.
And then run it from there. But then you could plan accordingly. Like everybody's done in an hour, we could move it up an hour. If everybody's taking an hour and a half, then we take an hour and a half.
And I don't mind, and obviously we'd have to work it out with the Adepticon, but I wouldn't mind putting something in where because food and refreshment is always the issue. Guys say, well, I didn't get really enough break to go get lunch or get dinner. I would even say, hey, look, we add another $5, whatever the cost is, to each ticket, and give you guys dinner.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
We right there.
We bring pizza in, or we get whatever, and we just say, okay, look, we're going to do the first 2 rounds. We're going to take a 30-minute break only, but the food's going to be here for you. You're not going to have to go get it. We can all kind of sit down, chat a little bit, and then get right back into rounds 3 and 4. And I do think if we plan it correctly, you could do Dreadball in the morning, Dead Zone in the afternoon.
Well, that's what we're going to do on the 30th. That's why I put that price for the pizza. So you don't have to go nowhere. We go hang out. Yep. We'll eat. We'll just chill out and stuff.
And what was the cost of the Dead Zone event last year?
I think it was $10.
That was it. So yeah, so like I said, we do $15. Everybody gets, we figure out whatever the dinner's going to be, whether it be pizza or if the hotel can, they'll just, gouge you out, when it comes to food. But
yeah.
Cool. Well, that makes it a little bit easier for us to try to make a decision.
I'll tell you what, Joe, we found the place, man. Maybe we should call them.
Well, you're not allowed to bring stuff in, are you?
It's a hotel, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Rob, you were bringing in that moonshine. So, what are you talking about?
Well, we can illegally, though.
The only thing we weren't allowed to do was when we had the Mantic night.
Oh, it's Mantic night. You're not allowed to bring stuff.
Yeah, that's because we get the room, but we're forced to buy things from them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that in that situation we couldn't bring food in, but for the tournament, yeah, we can do whatever we want.
That's cool.
Why don't you call up Big Chef and order that, man?
What is that?
We went to this awesome burger. It was a burger joint, but like when you walked in, it smelled like brick oven pizza and smoke. They smoke stuff, and it was like for $10 we got a burger and we all got appetizers and we had a few drinks and stuff. And it's right behind the hotel we stayed in, which was, where did we stay in, Rob? What was it?
Embassy Suites.
Right. So like.
Oh yeah, so you were right over there. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Right, so right behind it, like we would cross the street, and there was this place called Big Chef. I went there 3 times. These guys, we went there twice?
We only got once, I think. Didn't we? Maybe we got twice. No, we went twice, did we?
We went twice, and then because when we got there, you guys went to the to Adepticon, and then we went there to eat, and that place was awesome.
Is that the place in the shopping center?
Yes.
Yeah, I've been there to eat.
Oh man, we worked something out with them, man. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, and that makes it even easier because that was Pat and I's biggest dilemma was how are we going to accommodate all of these events. Because right now we're actually, it's getting to a point where I don't know if we're going to be able to do a firefight and warpath tournament over the course of the weekend.
Probably not.
So
Who do you think would be more popular out of the gate?
Firefight.
Firefight? Okay.
Only because of it's, because firefight would be 1,500 points. Warpath would have to be 1,850, 2,000, and so again, model count you don't need as much. The gameplay is a little quicker.
Gotcha.
And it's the easiest one to transition up from Dead Zone to.
Yeah, those are all strong points.
But we would try to do a Warpath big game.
That'd be awesome.
And Coach, you're going to play in the firefight event, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'd like to. If it ain't during the Dead Zone tournament, I'm good.
No, it definitely will not be that.
That's like the only way I wouldn't play is if it was during Dead Zone.
Okay. Yeah, that was one of the things we knew, that because again they're going to pull from the same
Right.
pool of players.
Now, when would firefight be? That would be the Friday night?
Yes. And I think we're going to look at making Mantic Night on Friday night. So that was the other thing, is that if we did firefight as kind of a normal starting time, say 10 o'clock in the morning, we could run that 3-4 rounds, and then everybody would be able to still go to Mantic Night that wanted to go.
Yeah, because I don't like missing Mantic Nights if I don't have to. I think I only missed one, and that was because of the KOW was going on, and Mike wouldn't let us forfeit our last game to go.
Yeah, no, that would be, we would try to do that. It's just so much on Saturday, even for the guys who work it. We work the booth all day. The volunteers work all day, and it's just so busy with the Kings of War event. So we're probably looking to move that to the Friday.
Cool.
I think I'm gonna have to order some more tanks, but yeah.
Joe, quick question.
Yep.
If we do firefight, do the armies have to be painted?
Do they have to be? No, I mean,
yeah, of course they have to.
no, it's actually an Adepticon
I started a fight.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's an Adepticon rule. I thought.
Yeah, no, they it's not our. They will not list an event if it says that you don't have to be painted.
Hold on, Joe. I'm going to speak to Bill in his language. Hold on, Bill. Start painting your firefight army now. Go get your paints and start painting now.
Get your stuff out now.
They had a problem doing their Dead Zone armies. They weren't done.
You're halfway there with Dead Zone.
Zombies. That's a heck of a head start.
Coach, that's good for us.
You too, Sue. Get your brush out.
I will next week when I'm off.
Okay.
Bill, I've got a couple of lists I'll send you that are like 15 models.
Oh, we like that one.
Oh, you rock.
Yeah, you don't want to run those.
No, you do.
By the way, Joe, did you get my Facebook message?
I did not. I will check I've had a lot of messages going into the spam folder, or whatever that folder is where you can't read things or you don't know that they're there. But
Yeah, I hate that.
when I'm off of here, I will go in and check that folder.
It's not an emergency. I was just asking.
I was super excited to hear that there were going to be additional troop types coming out for the armies in KOW.
No, I asked him about our order.
Oh, yes, about our... Okay. We get excited about different things.
We've got the formations coming in the campaign book, and then we're going to do a source book of sorts, like we did for Warpath for Kings of War, probably towards the end of the year.
Nice.
Cool. Oh. Can't wait.
I want my vehicle so I can stomp you.
Yeah. You'll be stomping me regardless.
Now, one of the lists I'm hoping a lot of people bring to Adepticon for Firefight is the Enforcer Flyer list, just so we can actually see if it's completely busted.
Of course it's busted.
It's not that busted.
Okay.
Well, the thing is when they played Firefight with that one flyer, the Enforcers lost, which surprised me. Because the way that flyer was going around killing things, I thought for sure that Plague was going down, and they ended up winning. So,
First of all, he was playing Tyler, who rolls sixes like they're going out of style. So that's the issue.
True.
Other than Plague, every list has plenty of things to deal with flyers.
Yeah, but the thing is, the only thing I would say about flyers, the reason why they're so tough, is because you can reactivate them and then they can move, and there's no like set thing. They really have they move on the board kind of free, almost like an infantryman. They can go anywhere, and there's no laws governing them. Like they don't turn on a 90-degree angle or a 45-degree angle, or they can also double back or like make a U-turn and stuff. And I think that's why people are saying they're OP. Not that there's no real restriction on them when you fly them. You know what I mean, Joe?
No. I mean, I get that point, and I think one of the two schools of thought right now is I know for a fact I'm in the camp that say that they are going to change in some fashion.
Right.
They are not going to stay the way they are. What I didn't want is for everybody to say, the Chicken Little sky is following the game. The game can't be played.
No, well, you got to play 10 games with them.
Yeah.
And then you can come back. That's why, like, I'm very happy. I mean, I tell you all the time, I appreciate that I'm on the rules committee. But when I come up with something for Dead Zone, I'm not coming up like reading something to say no, that's not going to work because I know what I'm talking about. No, yeah. I've played the game. I play more Dead Zone. I don't even know how many at this point, but when we were play testing the Veerman, because Andy Sharp, we were play testing the Veerman before we were even on the rules committee.
Yeah.
And when we came back and we said this, and some of the guys on the rules committee were like, well, we don't feel this, well, this, that. No, dude, we're like,
we've done it.
I'm 30 games in just with the new stuff.
Yeah.
And for me to play Veerman is really was a stretch for me because I couldn't stand them, but I knew that it had to be done. And now I'm very proud of what we've done because it's been tested.
Yep.
So like you said, though, just that's my only thing. But, as far as the flyers being OP, no, I think the mechanics need to be tightened up.
Well, in my, because obviously, Tyler's been very vocal about, how he feels that they just, coming as a Plague player, which I am as well. He feels that, that he's just going to auto lose almost,
right.
When he plays against them, which I don't agree with. But I see a lot of these lists people are putting out, and they're just not playing with things that can deal with them.
Right.
They think, oh, well, they're playing with flyers, so do I. Well, no, because then it's just a cat and mouse game of who gets to bring theirs on first, or second, because the guy who brings it on first is going to get one turn with it, and then the other flyers are going to shoot him out.
Right.
But I put up 2 or 3 lists so far on the Firefight Fanatics page where, the other one was a Forge Father list the other day, that was all based around infantry units being able to take out flyers. And, right. And that's what it's going to turn into. But I personally think if you just increase their stars, the high valued asset.
Right. HVAs. Yeah.
If you just take those up to another star, then you completely, remove the issue of the spam because you can't actually run more than 2.
Right.
Which I think will alleviate a lot of because again, the list that I wrote that I was, jokingly going to send to Bill it's 3 flyers, and all peacekeepers that all have 4 to 5 position order that are just going to drop into terrain. You're not going to be able to shift them. And then, you're going to have to try to dance around and, not get beat by 3 flyers, which I don't want the game to turn into that.
Right. But that's a valid strategy.
Like a Drakon heavy elf list.
That's a good strategy, but that list won't help you with an objective-based game. So if you're going to try to sit on objectives, and peacekeepers, they're going to go into, you know, like well, then again, they could sit on the terrain, they could sit on the objectives.
Well, that's the thing, is that because when you place the objectives, you can put them in terrain.
Right.
So you're gonna, when any ones that you place, you know, you're gonna put in terrain. And again, I think a lot of people forget the vehicles can claim too.
Right.
So I think initially people were like, oh, well, you know, I had a lot of people saying to me, well, you can't claim any objectives. And I'm like, I can claim 8 objectives, 6 objectives. You know, my vehicles can claim, my units can claim. So yeah, I just want everybody to take a deep breath, play some games, and obviously even the guy who wrote the game says, yeah, we're going to need to make some tweaks, and it's just a matter of, do points go up, do the HVAs go up, do we make some sort of adjustments in terms of their movement mechanic, and it'll just have to be practice games that, you know, are reps on the table that'll show that.
Right, but that comes down to play testing.
Yep.
You know, because like honestly, the way it is now, I'm either taking Forge Fathers or I'm taking 3 Flyers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's from going through it. That's what I see. And then I love the plague list as far as taking Teratons, taking 2 stage 1s, because you're going to get, when all is said and done, and you put in the really cheap personal upgrades, you can get like 20 command dice. You know, just by having the Teratons and you know, 2 Teratons, 2 stage 1s. That's you know, the stage 1s are giving you 4 each, and then
yeah, you're 12. You're 12 in those 4.
Right, that's crazy.
Yep.
You know?
I will play my plague will be what I play.
Right.
When we go, and I, as much as everybody's all up on these flyers, I think they truly underestimate the horde units. And I did, you know, when I was out in Chicago, and you know, Bill obviously got to play against the list, but I played against Pat, and those 2 zombie units with Subject 901 and the first gens, you literally have to kill them to a man to stop them from being effective on the table.
Yeah.
And it's 40 wounds, and then you're still dealing with, you know, the 2 aberrations, the 2 units of leapers, and you know, 2 units of stage 3s that are using their HMGs to pin you. But
that's why I like the Forge Fathers too, because what, you know, they're like Ivan Drago. What they shoot at, they destroy.
Mm-hmm.
The Forge Father shooting is so good, and then when you get into combat, they're not a combat army like you would say, like the Plague would be.
Sure.
But they can hold their own, and they can get over just enough. You know what I mean? Like you could, you know, that's why the suppression is very important. We talk about that, the new Third Sphere coming out. We basically talk about suppression, the counterattacks, you know, as charge reactions, and then just go over fortified and defensible terrain. That's the main crux of the show. And what we've been doing was just trying to cover all the core mechanics that you need to know, so that hopefully by the time Adepticon comes, we'll cover everything. You know what I mean? So like as we're looking at it, you're a beginning guy. That's why like I like to bounce off Tyler. It's like, so Tyler, how do I get suppression? Well, and then you know we kind of do that, and it works out good. You know, the show is actually pretty useful. So Joe, you're going to jump on with us next time, right?
Yeah, man. No, Firefight has been my it's slowly taking over as I think my primary, which I know will upset a lot of my my Kings of War brethren. But I think once we get through an actual FAQ of this game, I think it is a better, I won't say better, but I think it is an on par rule system to Kings of War.
I thought you were going to say better than 40K, because I was going to agree with you.
Oh, it is much better than 40K. That I will say without a shadow of a doubt.
Well, I mean, it's not really better than 40K, because 40K stole all the rules. So.
Well, and it's funny, even before this reincarnation, one of the, you know, the order system, you know, how things play out, I just think it's what 40K always wanted to be but never was.
Right. Well, you know what I love though? I love the fact that my favorite thing about Warpath and Firefight is how it mirrors Dead Zone, and the fact that it's not a movement shooting assault phase. It's you figure out what you're going to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so if I want to shoot this phase and then move out of the way, I could do that. If I want to move, I could do that. If I could shoot, but then I want to grab an order, I could do that also. So there's a lot to it that it makes it tactically flexible as far as you know what I mean. It's a little bit different because like I was playing against Erox Veerman, and I was like, oh, he's going to move up, he's going to do this and this. Then the frickin' Tangle did some stuff.
Oh, that thing! I hate when people say that. I think it's horrible.
You think it's horrible, or
no? I think it is fantastic, and it should be in every Veerman list ever made.
No, in the Veerman list. Just don't take it in Dead Zone. But you know, it's just yeah. There's no reason not to take it in Firefight or even Warpath, because what it does, I think out of everything, it's the most powerful leader with its buffs. You know, just the aura buffs.
Yeah.
You know, it's ridiculous. So my question is too: will Jack and Rob play Firefight or Warpath, or are they going to go play Kings of War at Adepticon?
Night all.
The minion's leaving.
Good night.
See ya.
Good night, too.
Rob always wanted to play Kings of War last year. He was dead set on getting in a game of that. Maybe even at Mantic Night he was thinking about it.
Yeah, it's never happened.
We can't bring our armies. Obviously, there's not enough room. Actually, you know what? Maybe we could,
because we brought way too many
clothes.
And Dead Zone models.
I think we've learned quite a bit. There was mistakes made. I think maybe you could bring a Kings of War army.
Yeah, maybe.
Because we brought enough models for like just in case anyone else didn't, and just in case we needed to, you know, teach people how to play and stuff. But now, I don't know.
Well, Joe, you know what we could do too? We kind of did it this year, but it was a little haphazard. But next year, you know, I know technically we're not Pathfinders and stuff, but give us a few boxes of terrain. Let us go upstairs, and we could start just start playing, you know, playing games. And then, you know, Pat sent a few guys up, and it was Professor Jack teaching people how to play Dead Zone. You know, if we could do that again this year, and then it's also good too because we can kind of get our sea legs going with Dead Zone. You know, just feeling stuff out. I didn't play Bill once the whole weekend. I would have loved to play him.
Oh, that would have been a ball.
Even just a pickup game. So I ended up playing Rob, and I played Tyler. And I want to tell you, man, if you've watched the video of me and Tyler playing, that was a crazy game, man.
That was a great game.
You know,
I wish there were more people doing bat reps.
I would love to do stuff like that, but for me, it's just the time of editing them and.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a pain in the balls.
Yeah, that's why people don't do them.
Yeah, we threw up a battle report from 2 days ago, and it's like 45 minutes, and I've got a camera that you can pause, and I think we only paused like 3 or 4 times. But yeah, it would be so nice to see, just to see more, because the thing is I think the more games that get up on YouTube, the more buzz it creates, and then more people get involved, and then they start doing videos, and then it snowballs. Because like originally there were only like a couple people doing Kings of War like battle reports. Now they're everywhere.
Yeah.
I would love to see that happen with Dead Zone, Firefight, Warpath, Saga.
See, I would do more battle reports, but then Tyler gets all the credit anyway, so.
Yeah.
Hey, I have seen every single battle report you have done, Coach.
Okay.
And
I appreciate the comments all the time.
They all suck. No.
They're all horrible.
But I don't think that there's like anyone else that's like doing them.
No. But you know what it is? The way we do them, it takes a long ass time to do.
Oh, you guys put in so much. Like, you guys will talk about like your secret missions, and you're in like your own room to do each one.
Right.
And then, you know, all the dice rolls that happen. Then what I love most, Coach, about how you do your videos is that you always explain all of your pluses and minuses and what the final die roll needs to be.
Right.
So that any noob that's got the book, at any point you say a single rule that they don't understand, they can stop your video, go there, and learn it. And that's what we did a lot with Dead Zone, was just watch your battle reports, and then, you know, there might be a special rule that comes up, and we wouldn't know how that rule works. So we would stop it and look the rule up, and it's like, cool. And then it just becomes like this fantastic learning aid.
Well, when we did it, that's what we're trying to do. It's like, I want to explain everything. So, you know, it's not like, I like to do, it's like, all right, you know, 3 plus 1 for elevated plus 2 for, you know, do everything like that. Because later on, it's not, I don't like it when guys are like, all right, I'm rolling 8 dice. I want to explain why I'm rolling 8 dice, or why I'm rolling 6, or why I'm missing 2.
Exactly.
Or, you know.
Yeah. Because that's what's going to make it more accessible for new players.
And you know what, too? Sometimes I'll get caught, and I think people, I don't know, I guess my personas comes before me, whatever. Like a guy would say something, I'm like, you know what, you're right, man, I messed that up. Oh, you're admitting you messed it up? Yeah, you know, I messed it up. All right. Sorry.
Oh, it happens. I caught myself, I made a mistake, and I felt really bad because I practically tabled the guy, and then I realized in one of my surges, I pivoted and I was within an inch of an enemy unit. So technically speaking, that wasn't a legitimate surge, because you've got to end your movement an inch away from any enemy unit. So, and it's going to happen. You know, I make, you know, mistakes. Opponents do, you know, and you feel bad about it, but, you know, you play the game. You know, we're here to have fun and roll dice.
Right. I agree. But it doesn't matter because Tyler gets all the credit anyway. So.
Or Way to Fire.
Or Way to Fire, yeah. Rob, you guys do a podcast, right?
No.
Loosely, you could call it that.
We're quitting.
Oh boy, what are you complaining about you don't get now?
We're not complaining about anything.
We get no respect.
Dude,
I paid you a very good compliment when I came on.
Your podcast.
Oh, no. We get personal respect. We're still good.
You guys don't realize the volume of podcasts you guys put out. You're at like 71 or 2 now, and a lot of those you had like a 0.5 in between them.
Oh yeah.
So I'm willing to bet you guys are well over 100.
We're close, so I don't know. Yeah, it happens.
Because I remember there was like about a month-long period where I was just determined to go through all of your podcasts. And let me tell you, you guys have a lot of material. Oh my God, you guys have got a lot of material.
Well, I think next month will be the 4-year anniversary that we've just been covering just Dead Zone.
Which is amazing. Yeah, that is a lot of just... Not to mention all the pictures you guys put up, and you guys go through like all of the new releases and show all of those. I mean, you guys have a lot of meat in your podcast.
Crazy.
Thank you.
You know, it's not just, okay, let's listen to these guys just talk for an hour. No, there's way more going on there than just that.
Yeah, we try to, I like the idea when anybody Googles Dead Zone, it's usually our pictures that pop up, which I think that's kind of cool.
It is. It is cool.
It was funny because we went to Adepticon and we were driving back, and we bought some Wild West Exodus stuff, and the guys told us about a podcast. So we said, oh, let's look for a Dead Zone podcast. And it was early on, 4 years ago. You guys didn't have that much. And I think it was Rob. So we're saying, I was like, well, where the hell are these guys from? I wonder if they were at Adepticon. And you were like, well, this is a podcast of boot. And I said, yeah, I know where they're from.
Oh, I don't think that's true.
You don't have to think it's true. It's just it is true. Jack,
Coach.
my fellow gentleman caller.
That is
Oh, my.
true.
I got to tell you, man. I can't. I was just gonna curse, but I can't wait for frickin' Adepticon again. We had such a good time. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was good.
Oh, yeah.
Have you guys thought about doing a live cast from Adepticon or a show while you're at Adepticon?
We did videos for coaches stuff, but we brought our recorder and we just never did it because we were just too busy.
Yeah, we had all the intentions of doing it, but then you get wrapped up and you're having fun, and and then it would have been really hard to sit down and just do what's essentially work. When maybe in 2 years when we go back.
Well, next year I've already been roped in by Pat to be a roving reporter with Andrew. I don't know if Andrew knows that yet, but
Well, that'd be awesome.
Andrew's very shy, and then when you turn the camera on, he comes to life. He's like, those, like they say Joe Pesci is like the shyest guy you ever want to meet, but then behind the camera he's like insane. That's Andrew. You know what we do though? We shot about like 30 gigs of video, and then you got to kind of sift through that, which is another pain in the butt to do.
Finding the pearls.
Yeah.
Well, I think for you guys too, since you just covered Dead Zone, obviously you're only going to hit that part of the market. But
Right.
with the fact that the market is growing, because like I said, as much as I've worked for the company since pretty much its inception, Dead Zone was never something that I really dug into. And since getting into Dead Zone and Firefight, and I think I listened to like 4 episodes of you guys the other day. So hopefully that'll continue to grow as we get more people into it.
This game, I've said it from the get-go. I've said it to on the podcast too a few times. This game is way too good not to be this popular.
Yep.
And I'm saying, and I know I'm biased because I love the game, but it's way too good not to be more popular. There's no reason for it not to be more popular.
I think it breaks a lot of molds. The biggest one being the 3D, the 3-dimensional playing level. I mean, there's almost no other games that I can think of that gives you essentially like board game mechanics with this much in-depth miniature play. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
There's
nothing out there that I can really compare it to.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of a double-edged sword when it comes to when we pitch it to stores. I always say to them, it is the best gateway miniatures game arguably ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And it's because there's no measuring needed. It's all based on the cube system. You still have a very small force that you're going to be playing with. Obviously, some will be a little larger, some will be smaller, and again, the investment, obviously it's a little different for me. I work for the company, but if I was looking at it as an end user, for $80, you can pretty much have everything that you're going to need majority of the time for a faction that you're going to play the game with.
So Joe, what would be all right, so I mean, I don't know because I've been here since the get-go, and I don't even count the money anymore. I just spend it, at this
Sure.
point. But what would be like, all right, I want to start Dead Zone, right? We got some rookies coming to the tournament, all right?
Yep.
Some guys are like, you know what, sounds good, I'm going to come. I got a buddy of mine who's an RPG author, and he's coming down to play it. He says, you know what, I want to get into this game. I said, all right, go talk to Joe right over there. I need some terrain. I need some stuff, man. What's my monetary investment? Now, if I'm going to play 40K, I know it's at least a $500 investment to get going, minimum.
Sure.
That's on, and I'm being very, very, very conservative.
Yeah.
What would be a Dead Zone thing?
I mean, you've got 2 ways to look at it. You can be, you can be just like you said, where, hey, look, I want to get, I want to figure out what strike team I want to play, and I want to get some terrain. If you end up going Forge Fathers or Enforcers, you've got an easier way to do it with the starter set.
Right.
That's an $80 investment, but it also gives you the terrain. It gives you the hardback rule book, which a lot of games nowadays, and even our own, we don't put the hardback rule books in every core set that we make. So that right there, it's a $40 book on its own. So for $80, you've got the starter set, you've got some terrain that you can start playing around with. And then the great thing that I love that we did was the faction starters and the faction boosters, which are $40 a piece. So for $80, like I said, outside of some weird combinations or very specific things you want to do, you're gonna have everything that you need to at that level. And so if you went full hog on those three things, you're $160, and the amount of models that you have for what the game is I think it's unparalleled in any other system.
Right. Well, you know what I think too? I think the problem that Mantic is having was that their models before the ones that have come out now weren't up to par.
Sure.
You know what I mean? The older sculpts are not where it should be. So I did an interview on the WGC podcast. Chung was interviewing me a few months ago, and he says, "I want to talk about DEADZONE." I said, "All right, let's go." So he started talking and stuff, and he's like, "Well, Mantic models aren't that good." And I said, "Well, yeah, they weren't, but now check this out." And he starts looking. He goes, "Oh, whoa, these are pretty good. Oh, these are pretty good. Oh, all right. Well, what did they do? They stepped up their game." I said, "Yeah, well, if you're going to compete, you got to step up like that." And he was impressed with the way the models are. So I think that's the problem, like getting over that hump of veteran wargamers. Of new people, it doesn't really matter. But for, what I mean, the older guys who've been around a little bit,
Well, and it's funny, I'm not going to say I'm young and I'm not old. I'll be 31 in July, but I started working for Workshop when I was 16 years old. Right. And so this was 2003. And back then it was always funny because, there wasn't a whole lot of games that were out there. Flames of War was around and some other stuff, but, GW was primarily what you were playing. And if you look back, I always say to people now is that every company goes through those periods where stuff is subpar compared to other things, or, so I always kind of laugh a little bit because I think we're going into our 10th year as a company, trading, or selling, in the market. So we've had to kind of make hyper jumps in terms of quality and how we produce things, where a company like Games Workshop has had 30 years to do it.
Right.
And go through those things where people just kind of dealt with it because that was all there was to do.
Right.
So it's not so much in terms of what a company is doing specifically, but it's just the technology and way things are done now that we had to step it up. And initially we came out as the company that was, hey, look, we want to offer affordable miniatures. And before we even had games, it was just as substitutes, some undead models, some elves, some dwarves. It's still a hurdle that we deal with today. And every single time I send miniatures out to a store or to an event and people look at them, they go, "Oh, wow, you make this?" And it's like, okay, you don't need to say it like that, but yeah, we do. And the vehicles were one that we sent these out to some guys and, retailers and distributors, and they were like, "Oh, that's," they got them in and they didn't check who the box was from. And a couple of them actually thought GW did it.
Really?
They were like, "Oh, these are really cool." Or who did this? Was it GW or was it that? And it was like, no, we did it. So we're definitely getting there. But for people that want to say, well, you should be doing stuff at the quality that GW is, nobody's going to.
No.
It's not a realistic expectation to have for any company. So, and it's funny if you look at, a lot of people bring up weird miniatures from Malifaux, and I think they make beautiful miniatures. The plastic kits they do are fantastic, and people always say, well, why can't you do that? And I say, okay, well, let's do that. Let's take a box of 3 guys, and I'll make them in this super high detailed plastic on these sprues with all these different components, and I'm going to charge you $29.99 for it.
Right.
Well, no. I'm not going to pay that for it. Well, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Right.
So if you want to pay $30 for 20 miniatures, well, that's just kind of the way that it's going to be, that there's going to be some things that you're going to suffer on, you know,
Right.
as opposed to paying a premium price for something that, you know, is the Rolls Royce.
Yeah, but you know what though? You sending out those vehicles and they think that GW did it.
Yeah.
I mean, I would take that as a compliment because the stuff GW puts out is nice. It's good stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
It's good quality, you know. I mean, there's a lot of baggage that comes with it, but you're looking at aesthetics of it. Hey, you know, to be compared to them, that's pretty damn good.
No, absolutely.
You know.
So yeah, but I mean, and the great thing is now is that most of the stuff that we have coming out is gone to hard plastic. You know, we've removed those small discs from the feet from most things. You know, Dreadball will, Dreadball will have some stuff there still, but again, that's more just kind of the we're going for a more board game. You know, when that product is re-released. But yeah, I used to say it internally all the time. Stop putting those discs on the bottom of the feet, only because I like to. You know, the Dead Zone stuff I'm working on right now, I have, you know, bases that are, you know, modeled to that I couldn't do really with that disc. So, you know, all good things, and you know, we'll get there. It just seems to always be a little bit harder and a little bit longer than we want.
Gentlemen, unfortunately, I gotta be up at 5 a.m. Thank you so much for inviting me here.
Oh, you know what, Bill? I'm apologizing because we forgot to send you the invite, but.
No problem at all. I'm happy to be here.
We're gonna put you in the chat. Don't we're gonna make you blush, but then you'll see when we do our hobby hangouts.
That'll be fantastic.
Yeah, you come around.
I really need to get some more hobbying going on.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Cool. Well, thanks all for having me, and we'll see you guys later.
All right,
buddy.
Thanks a lot. See ya.
Take care.
He's too nice, man.
Oh, I love Bill, but he's very nice. Very, very nice.
The nicest. Oh my God! I got tabled and I'm so happy. Come on, Bill. What's wrong with you? No, it's awesome. It was funny because he was playing Shane in the tournament.
Yep.
And Shane never played Kings of War, and Shane ended up beating him in the team tournament.
Yeah, he came up a couple of times and told me that he won games, and I was like, "Well, nothing against you, buddy." I was like, "But you've never touched that system before, and that's pretty shocking that you're, you know."
But then he was playing Bill Foreman, so there you go.
Well, and again, I didn't actually ask who his opponent was, so I'm debating about if I can become the first Renaissance man. I want to run the table. I want to win all the events.
Yeah, well, just take Dead Zone out of your head right there, pal.
I'm just waiting. I'm starting to design the shirt you're going to wear after I beat you.
Oh. Are we getting a challenge, a formal challenge in which?
Well, Coach and I have already had this, and I don't shy away from it. I don't, you know, but we'll make it public, I guess, soon. But I told him that me and him will play first round at Adepticon, and I told him that I would beat him, and that if I didn't, I told him I'd paint him, you know, an all new strike force so he can, you know, strike team so he can pick what he wants.
I recall it being a Warpath army, but you know.
Negative, sir. Negative.
I mean, that's just, you know, that's what I remember. But
if we're doing that, I'll do like a 2 out of a 3. You know, that's a lot of painting for a one-off.
All I know is my nameless are going to look sweet.
So we'll see. But I got till Adepticon to figure out what I need to what I'm going to take.
Let me bring the points down to 150. Yeah, Coach won't do good at 150. Au contraire.
Tell you what, I'll play you on Thursday at 200 if you're really just going to be that much of a, you know.
No. I'll play by the rules. I'm a rules guy.
But yes, that's the going thing at the moment. So
and I'm glad that we both came to that decision. That whole, I don't want to fulfill Jack's fantasy of like one of us losing and lipstick and crap like that. That ain't gonna happen.
We're not going down that road.
No, just, you know, like, you know, I know that it's going to be like I won Adepticon twice, but Joe beat me in the, you know, first round or some crap. I'll wear that. I don't want.
Oh no, I'm going to win the event, but I'm just saying I'm going to beat you the first round so that the rest of the event you have to look up at me as I'm playing because I'll be down the other end of the tables.
Gotcha. And then do me a favor. when you like that brand of peyote that you're chewing on right now, just bring that with you next time, because I know we all like to party too, man.
Hey, man, I'm all clean over here.
Yeah, you could be all clean, but sometimes guys get high on oxygen. Hey, Jack.
Yes.
He has no idea, right?
I like, you know what? Dead Zone has a very low key kind of a fan base in so much as that it's very friendly, very board gamey, very. But I like the thought of a little bit, not a lot, a little bit more of
trash talking.
A little bit, a very tiny little bit more, and again, I've always said it, a little more of the pageantry and the really taking the time to do some good based miniatures and some display boards and stuff like that. It's that kind of stuff that kind of brings out a certain very liberal with their money, very staunch fan base. So I'd like to see a little bit of that. You know what I'm saying? There's a certain segment of the population that is more so like that, and they're the ones that really get get their wallets out, and they really get embedded into it.
Start spending some money.
And
I will say,
about
coming from, obviously Kings of War was my primary game, before getting into Dead Zone and really kind of, getting into it. But that was probably the one thing that I say that I was a little disappointed in, was the hobby side of things. Now, again, not everybody's a Picasso. I'm not a Golden Demon or heavy metal painter. But just, like Jack said, the thought process, putting in some time to, whether it be a little display board or some thematic bases or something, it just kind of seemed like most people just kind of bang their models out as quick as possible just to get them playable.
Like you would for a board game.
Which, that's true.
Which there is, but I would like to see a little more of the Kings of War esque.
And I'm not. It's funny. I'm not one that says, I go kind of either way when it comes to like painting and appearance scores being based into, the scoring system. But I would be fine with, that's fine if you want to say the guy that won all of his games and got all the victory points is the best general or overall, whatever you want to call it. But I think having an award for hey, best painted strike team, or most thematic strike team, or whatever it is, having some other stuff like that, it will also draw in other players who initially may just look at it as these guys are just there to crush face, and they'll play with all their models painted like ghosts because they did it the night before.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That is true.
Because Kings of War is still like that. I mean, you've got guys that are everybody ghost and they want to win games, but really you've got about 20-30% of the guys who are there that's their main goal, where everybody else is like, I just want to have some cool looking stuff, I want to have some fun, But again, they also, if we could get a 100-man Dead Zone tournament, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be good. I don't know, Joe. If you want, on the 30th, we could set that up.
Set what up?
That first round match.
Well, no, because then we don't have the fanfare. I mean, I'll play you round one, but we'll say for the actual, pinks, playing for pinks, as we'll call it. We'll have that be.
We should
have that be Adepticon.
We should just sell tickets and have Jack and Rob kind of sit there. Jack, Rob, and Andrew
commentate the game
in like yellow blazers.
the Hall of Famers commenting on the game,
right?
And that's one thing. And I don't know, maybe obviously I don't know if Jack's going to play in the event. I would assume he would. Rob, I know you're not super into the competitive stuff, or from what I can tell.
Yeah.
But I think something like that, having someone like Rob who knows the game in and out, but really just isn't interested in going out there and playing in an event. I would love to see someone like you stream the entire event and actually commentate on it.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things I think that helps a lot of these other games now is that if you were there saying, okay, because I've tried to watch some bat reps, and obviously, I've watched Coach and Tyler's game, and because I know the game now, I can follow it. But being able to say, okay, well, this is probably what you're going to see out of this activation, or this is why this worked this way. I think it would help bring a lot of kind of on the fence guys in, because they can kind of follow along and know what's actually going on.
I'll tell you what, Joe, Andrew could do that because he's dead set against not competing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but he does know the game really well.
Yeah, so like I said, if we had two guys there that either did it at the same time or can alternate between games to give breaks, but I think that would be great. Just to have, obviously it would make me and Coach feel really good because somebody would be watching us and talking about how great we are. But well, yeah, sure, okay. That's all right. We'll make you feel good too in some way.
Okay. That's okay. You keep talking, keep talking shit.
Yeah.
But, when shit hits the fan, hold on a second. It's about that time I gotta dust those awards off.
Oh no, he did not. He said the awards. Oh. I mean, you want me to take a picture? You want me to take a picture of my trophy case? Is that what we're doing?
Undefeated twice in Dead Zone. I mean, you still got those little league trophies from 3rd grade. I mean, that's cool. I mean, if that's what floats your boat.
I mean, tell you what, we'll see maybe we'll do one for Firefight too when you play a big boy game.
All right. Well, you know what? Now you're just being silly.
When you play a big boy game, then we can maybe talk about figuring out where the trophies are.
Dead Zone is not a big boy game.
No, it's a fine game, but I'm just saying, it's it's
not going to trash talk area now. Yeah, I let you slide there, pal. now,
I know.
I'm going to take personal offense to this, and I don't know, Jack and Rob, you better back me up here now.
It's a bold move to come on the Dead Zone Monthly and then trash talk Dead Zone. So
I mean, we let you slide a little bit, but now
I've gone too far.
Now I mean, if you might get 3 of your legs broken. Yeah, I know them Baltimore guys are tough, but I come from a different area.
A different area.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can only take gunshot wounds. We don't deal well with broken bones.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, everybody's telephone tough guy, but when you line up before the man,
Here we go.
Let him know, Jack. Let him know.
I've
you asked for this, Jack. That's all I'm saying.
You said you wanted more of this.
And I was just about to say,
have we gone too far?
Yeah. Trust me. I've been known to go too far. I've said some things. But maybe you can dial that
back a little bit.
Yeah. We'll ease into that. How about?
I just want to come out with like the smoke machine. I'll have my glasses on with a headband.
We each have an entrance.
My long coat. I'll start pointing, oh yeah, time to roll some 8s.
I do want to see you in a Macho Man suit. That would be quite funny.
That would be definitely worth the price of admission. Joe, can we get a smoke machine?
Sure.
I just don't, I don't want to hurt Jack's asthma.
Hurt his asthma.
Because I got bronchitis.
I got the asthma. I got black lung.
Got the black lung. Working in the mines. No, but I think stuff like this, again, obviously we, both Coach and I will obviously want to win the game. But I think if stuff like this brings some attention to the game and can kind of show that, hey, look, it's not just it's not just this little thing that 10 guys get together every year to Adepticon and play. I think it will definitely kind of heighten the experience. For some
I also think too that when we get to Adepticon, we need to have a little bit more of guys like us playing as opposed to guys that are just like, well, this is my 4th game.
Oh, for sure.
That's that's where it's going to be. Like, you'll see when you come to New York, right? You're going to hit about 8 or 9 guys that are like not rookies. You know what I mean? Like that know this game. So, you know, and it's, you know, when we play, we have a lot of fun, but it's cutthroat, man. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's like the Cobra Kai over here. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, hey, I'm all with that. I mean, obviously, I don't do it with Dead Zone, but you know, it's Kings of War. Any other games that we've ever played, you know, in this area, that's kind of how we learn by the trial of fire.
Yeah, that's the way it's got to be. And like also too, like firefight. Yeah, I mean, and I'm not predicting anything, but I'm gonna come hard with it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna, you know, I want to try to win that thing. You know, I want to try to win firefight, man, because I do like the game a lot, and it's just there's only one way to play, and that's, you know, to go balls out.
Well, and that's not gonna, you know, the thing that I always say to people about events like Adepticon is that people, whether they're coming in to be competitive or not, understand that that's how the players are. So they don't care that they're getting, you know, absolutely destroyed, you know, by somebody, you know, that's there to do that, but they can still enjoy it. Whereas you go to your local store and people have this this misconception that, hey, we're just here to have fun. And then that's when you get into this, like, well, this is ridiculous. I hate this game because that guy was just an a-hole. And, you know, he didn't understand what, you know, what the purpose of this was. So, you know, Adepticon allows for that kind of like that social grace that everybody knows that, okay, this is what we're here to do. Yeah,
but sometimes guys get salty when you bring up the rules and they say,
oh, sure.
Well, I'm here to, you know, when we play at my house, it's like this. It says, yeah, that's awesome, but you know what? That's not the right way to play. You know, you're not following the rules as they should be.
And for me, it's funny. My play style when I play a game, I'm very. Some people kind of say, you know, I try to be an energetic guy out, you know, usually, but I'm very calculated when I play. So I nominate everything. I explain everything that I'm doing. Now, again, this is coming from Kings of War. But you know, sometimes people are like, "Oh, it's not that serious," and it's like it's not me, you know, saying that anything is, you know, more serious than anything else. But that's just the way I play, and it does. You know, some people take that like, "Oh, well, you're just being that power gamer guy," and it's like, no, I'm playing by the rules, and I want to make sure that there's no misconception on what's going on.
Yeah, because you know what? Oh, I didn't know you were shooting at him.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
But the way we see the way we do our battle reports, that's exactly how we play.
Yep.
I mean, that's exactly how we play. We you know, all right, I'm rolling 3 + 1 + this. You think I got the whole model? No, you don't have it. Why? Oh, the bases are not, you know, fully out. Oh, okay, whatever. You know, that's the way we play. And that's when I do the battle report, it's like, all right, that's the way you play. Now I know some people complain about the dice rolling, and it was funny when I was playing Tyler at Adepticon, you hear Jack going, "You're showing too many dice rolls."
Oh, in the battle report.
Yeah, because
you guys did it. You guys did it like off camera in that little box thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's funny. One of the things that I found pretty frustrating, you know, and again, it was nobody's fault, but when I was in the UK, was without somewhere, because we didn't have a whole lot of space on the outside of the mat. It's just finding somewhere to roll the dice. You know, in Kings of War, you've got tons of space to roll dice wherever you want. You know, you're playing on a 4x6 table. So, but you know, with Dead Zone, it's like I don't want the dice being rolled on the mat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a bugaboo about that myself.
Now, again, obviously, you know, depending on who you play against, and you know, that's not something you can force people to do. You know, there's no rule saying that you got to roll off the table. You know, but you know, I love that those little what is that? Is that just like a little? What is that box you guys use?
Honestly, that was one of them was Hot Dice got a cigar box and he put some yoga foam in it. That was the black and red one, and then the other one I got was a pencil case from Walmart.
Yeah. Okay.
And I like that when we roll. You know, because I told Tyler we were talking about this like Tyler was when he was doing some battle reports, it was like different colored dice, and then they would roll it in the same area.
Oh wow!
And I didn't like that. So what I do is I take that thing and you open it up, and it's like two rectangles next to each other. So I'll put all the models in one. I'll put all my dice and my counters in the other one, and carry that to the next match.
Yeah.
take out the models, take out the dice, and I'll just have my counters in there, knowing what I have to do and activate. You know, I like to be very organized when I play. So you know, you have a certain amount of activation tokens,
Sure.
and then I got a bunch of my blood and stuff. So I'm prepared. So you know, if my match goes too long, I got to get to another one. Boom, I'm all set.
Yeah.
No, and I love rolling it in that thing. Even when we play off camera, we still do that.
Oh no, I think it was great, and obviously, you know, I didn't know if that was just something that you guys had made, but you know, like you said, you know, a pencil case or anything that's got, you know, that opens on a hinge is perfect.
Right. Rob's got actually like a real dice case that actually is made for that.
Yeah, KR multi case. KR, yeah, was it? You know, the people make the
cases.
KR, whatever. Yeah, they do. I don't know if they still sell them, but it has like a clasp on each side, and it just makes two dice trays, and it's otherwise it's a dice holder. It's really nice,
and it fits right in your bag. That's what's nice.
Yeah,
about
it's nice and flat. That's a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something I will be investing in or making.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it.
But it was actually a nice change of pace, not having to worry about, you know, in Kings of War, one of the biggest things when you're playing at a high level, you know, you're worrying about, you know, measurements and, you know, where a guy's measuring from, and you know, there's a lot of little kind of finicky things that, you know, you're constantly trying to pay attention to, and it was just a relief not to have to do that. You know, yeah, there's still things that you keep an eye on, but it was like there is no measuring; it's just movement in the cube. You know, so it was definitely a relief.
Yeah, you know, I just that's one of the things in Dead Zone. That's when I started playing Firefight. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I need a ruler.
Yeah, I actually need something else.
Yeah, but I know Rob and Jack have a gridded 6x4 mat.
Yeah.
Oh, so you don't have to worry. You kind of know the.
We got to play Dead Zone on, but yeah, we could use it for other games.
I'm convincing these guys, man. Just Firefight is basically big time Dead Zone.
Oh yeah, no, you guys would. I think you guys would love it.
Maybe one day.
One day.
I think just the nice thing that carries over, like I said before, was the activations. You know,
Yeah.
short and long. I think that carries over very nicely. Obviously, there's a lot of differences, but if you can just grasp that, and then that in and of itself just makes everything easier, you know.
Yeah, no, I was really glad that was the system that we ended up going with, and just kind of transversing it over. So.
Yeah, no, I love the fact that you know, shorts and longs, and you know, multiple activations and stuff. So, you know, because I know,
Well,
I'm sorry, in 40K, you know, the long, you know, like I go and then I finish and then you go. You got units that are wiped out before you even, you know. Well, that was a 600-point unit that's dead, and I always hated that, like a first round alpha strike, you know.
Yeah, or you know, something gets lucky, and you know, something gets hit with a D weapon, and it's like, oh, okay, that's great.
Right, and it's gone. I always hated that.
Well, and now, you know, that can still happen, but now it's based on the skill of the player. You know, it's based on, okay, how did I set up my units? Am I going to use a refresh order? Am I going to do this? You know, because you're alternating activations, you know, that can still happen, but it's going to be either on the skill of the guy doing it or the mistake of the other player not activating that unit, knowing that they're probably going to be taken off before they can be effective.
Right, but the thing is that could happen, but that can happen maybe once or one or two units. Not I'm losing like half my army before I even.
Oh, sure.
Go. You know that you know. I mean, by playing 40K, remember that slow death? At the very, there were times where we would just go, well, can we just start? Can I just start over?
Yeah, can we just re-rack it?
Yeah, because honestly, we're going to sit here for another 2 hours, and you're going to win, and I'm just going to, you know, it's going to suck. So why don't we just start again? And you know, that's what we usually would do.
which is never the tone you want to set when
No.
you're going into the second game knowing that the first one was pretty just miserable, so you've
Right.
had to reset it.
And you only have a finite amount of time, so to maybe start over again, it's a pain in the ass,
Oh, and in 40K games, I mean, 1850 obviously was, kind of the go-to points for a long time. I mean, that was a 2.5-hour game.
Right.
So for most people, after work, meeting up at a store or getting together at their house, you've got one shot at it every day that you get to play.
Yeah, it's a good thing about Dead Zone. If you have a bad game, you just play like another game, and it's totally different next time. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, what we do is we just rotate the mat.
Yeah.
Keep the terrain the same, and then just.
Yeah, so instead of changing terrain, and what I do is I have a 2x2. I have right now in the bunker, I got 4 2x2 pieces of insulation foam, blue foam.
Yep.
And we put the mat on that, so it's like, even if we got to move to another table, which I think it's happened once, but if we have to move to make room or whatever, or even if we want to eat, we could actually pick up the board and move it. So the mat sits on that 2x2 piece of foam.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you'll never have to worry about, moving it here, moving it there, or something bad happening, What did I do?
Well, that's what we got to figure out. We got to figure out a way to get Rob and Andrew to do some commentary.
I know Andrew.
That's good. The hard part is just to get people to not want to be distracted by someone sitting there next to him commentating, right?
Well, I think what we would want to do is if we can get the biggest problem for us is getting the equipment that works, that can stream at a decent quality, but also the internet charges, that they hit you with in these hotels is just astronomical. But if we could get it to where you guys had a computer, if we gave you a computer and you could watch the live stream from, like the other side of the hall, then the guys just play their game.
Yeah,
but you're looking at it and able to actually talk about it as they're doing it, which is what
wouldn't distract anybody.
Yeah, which is, War Machine does it that way. Magic the Gathering, they do all their live streams that way. There's like a booth where these guys sit away from the actual game.
Yeah, it's like poker.
Yeah. Because like you said, not only distracting, but if you said certain things, you might actually give away tactical advice or.
Thanks. I never thought about that. No,
Thanks, man.
So, that's the one where it's like, I don't think he knows about that extra Teraton hiding in the back there. Thanks, Rob.
Yeah. I think that's when we would see Coach flip a table.
Yeah, so that's logistic wise. That's when it gets interesting. It's like, how do you do that? Get a camera on there, a live feed. That's.
You know what? Hey Joe, you know what I want to do? I'm thinking about doing here. I seen a guy do it, and they do it for, I forget the game, but I saw it. They build a cube of PVC, right?
Oh yeah, the Magic guys do it, yeah.
Right, and they put like 4 cameras. So one's like an overhead camera. Then there's like one from another angle, and then a guy sits there with, like 4 buttons and
just switches back and forth.
Right. Like a real, like
a sports game.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, and that's the thing is we just need to figure out, obviously the framework would be easy to build. It's just basic PVC piping. But it's finding the system that works, finding the equipment that works, and getting it all set up. But we've been wanting to stream Kings of War forever. People ask us every year, hey, can you live stream those games that are going on? But I think it would be easier to test with something like Dead Zone because it's a lot smaller in terms of area that it takes up.
Yeah.
And obviously we've got qualified people to commentate.
I'll tell you what, man. My son is definitely. I know I'm talking for him, but he would definitely be down for that.
Good.
It'd be fun to try. Like that's the thing. It's
oh yeah.
Well, you said he's not looking to actually do anything competitive, right?
No, he's there to be like this year's big thing was like me and Rob are going to walk around and interview people. and that's what they did. That was pretty cool. And then Flames of War. But other than that,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's real big into that, isn't he?
yeah, you know what? It's pretty good. I'm glad that we played more of that than Rune Wars. You know, 'cause-
Flames is a good game. I played it for a while.
yeah, it's fun. It is fun. But you know, what happened was they came out with a new rule set.
Yeah, fourth edition.
And not every so when we went there, you know how it is at Adepticon. You're like, oh, it's $600 for everything. Yeah, all right, yeah, that's not bad. I'll take it.
Yeah, sure, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. And then when you get home, you're like, oh my god. But with them, I was like, okay, you know, I like to buy maybe if, you know, the usual, just flesh out the units and whatever, you know, do that. And they're like, well, right now you want to wait because of the new edition just came out Thursday.
Yeah.
I was like, it's Friday, guys. He says, yeah, it came out yesterday. I was like, oh, okay. So he's like, don't buy anything yet because of this. And it was weird that a guy was telling me not to buy something.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes it a little harder.
Yeah, so I wanted to buy some more tanks and stuff, but then we wouldn't have the stats for them. So we just have the starter set, but it's actually pretty cool. And you know, you play with the command dice and the command actions and stuff. It's a decent game. I like it. It's nice. It's a nice change.
Yeah, I played it for a while and was getting pretty serious about it, but it was more just the crowd locally that I just couldn't get down with.
Well, the big thing here too is like X-Wing. X-Wing's
yeah.
You know, and a few of the guys they play a lot of X-Wing. And, I mean X-Wing's okay, but I haven't had the desire to play it. And I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
I really like the movement system with the dials.
Yeah,
I think that was a pretty unique way to set up movement for a game. But yeah, no, I played it. I had a bunch of stuff, and it just never. I think it was the pre-painted stuff that really got me. That I just was like not into it.
Here's my take on it. I've told a lot of people this. When you play DEADZONE, you do what we're doing right now, right? You hobby it up, you convert, you paint, you do all this different stuff with it. X-Wing is a board game.
Yep.
You could say it's a miniature war game, and it's not, because you're buying pre-painted stuff that you're putting on the table. Basically, I open a box and we're ready to go right now. When you get something like DEADZONE or Warpath or something like that, it's it's almost like you're selling a lifestyle, because you have to you have a lot to do. So with X-Wing, it's more of just, all right, we're going to put stuff on the table and go. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's different. It's not really a war game. It's more of a board game. I feel it's more of a board game. Now I do like the game. I don't have anything against it, but it is in a different classification.
Yeah, no, like I said, I think the game is great. It's very easy for people to get into. Like you said, you don't have the time commitment for the hobby, or painting, assembling. But yeah, it's just that's what I grew up doing. So for me, it's if I'm not putting something together and putting paint on it, then it loses a lot of the impetus to do it.
And then you think about it, right? Like with Kings of War, right? Put together. I have the dwarf starter set. I still haven't painted it yet. That's a daunting task.
Oh yeah,
that's a lot of miniatures to paint.
Yes, it is.
But the fact that Kings of War is so popular with that many miniatures is pretty cool, and it's like an enigma in itself. It's more of like the fantasy guys or the 40K guys getting into it.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things that helps Kings of War is that yes, it's a mass battle war game, but the unit basing is what gets a lot of people to want to actually do it that aren't normally into that, because we do say hey, look, you only need X amount of models to represent this, and you can do it on this really cool base. So guys get into the hobby that normally aren't into that, because it's a way for them to kind of circumvent painting 60 guys for their legion of zombies.
Yeah, but I've seen guys spam that out too, where it's like, what is it like?
It's half plus one.
Yeah, so to be a legion, I only need like 30. I only have
31.
to pay 31 for 60, right?
Yep.
That's crazy. See, I would be pissed off at that.
That's how it looks. If it looks really empty, yeah, that sucks. But if it looks pretty, go for
Well,
it.
and that was early on. You had a lot of these guys that were just like, they were spread out. Like, and again, it's all on how you present it. You know, you can make 31 guys look like there's none, or you can do some, zombies are always a prime example. People doing them like with fences or, breaking through a wall or coming out of a graveyard. You can do a lot of stuff to make it look like, oh, okay.
I would have a lot of bushes and trees.
Well, and there are people that do that as well.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter in a way, because just like in Dead Zone, the bases matter.
No.
In Kings of War.
Well, yeah, and that's
Well,
in Kings of War, it's just the base,
Yeah.
and that's always the argument for people. We could just play with the bases. Well, you could, but nobody would want to play with you.
well, then
That's
again, we could play with buttons too.
Yeah, sure.
Now get the hell out of here.
Yeah, it's all about who you want to play with. That's all.
Right. Yeah, we should get. I think tomorrow we'll get a few bat reps in. My nephew's coming down. He's going to be at the tournament. So we're going to start working on stuff.
Awesome.
I'm going to try to not. I don't want to play. I want to be like a real TO, but if it comes down to it, I might have to jump in. But I don't want to.
I think for Dead Zone, it's probably one of the easier systems to TO and run,
Right.
or TO and play. I've had to do it a couple of times for Kings of War, and you just kind of have to just kind of like it's almost an easy win for the guy that's playing you, unless they're really bad, because you can't really dedicate time to pay attention. You got people asking you questions, and so you kind of just push models around and get it over with as quick as you can.
See, it's hard for me to do that.
Well, it is for me in terms of my personality, but working in the industry since I was 16, you do it on a daily basis of,
Right.
let the Wookiee win type stuff. And
Yeah. See, I was thinking to play, but like I would take a non list. Like I was saying, I was going to definitely play Veerman, but now we made him better.
oh yeah, like a non-competitive list. Yeah.
Yeah, or like maybe take all assault enforcers. Jack.
Live the dream.
But I don't, hopefully the FAQ comes out before that. That's what I'm really hoping for.
Well, one of the things I know that last week I sent an email on Friday and was basically like, "Hey, look, we need to get this sorted," and Rob, our social media marketing guy, had actually sent the email over to somebody else and was like, "Hey, can we get this done?" And I think he actually asked for the GCPS list to be done as well.
Right.
So hopefully, fingers crossed, next week we've actually got both done and posted to the website.
Because I know at least one guy wants to take GCPS, and now I mean he's got a, I wouldn't say an unfair advantage, but just that he's been playing it because we've been play testing it.
Sure. Yeah.
So he wants to take that, or he'll take those damn stinking orcs. So but he really wants to play GCPS because
that's what he's been playing with.
That's what he's been playing with, and plus I'm almost done painting him. So, but I think the GCPS, you know what? They're good, but they're not that good. You know what I mean? They're a very, very capable army, but they do have deficiencies that you have to exploit. And I think it's a good fit. It's almost, like the enforcers do a lot of things good, but they don't do everything good.
Yeah.
So that's why they're a well-rounded force, and then that's even the Forge Fathers. They could be very well-rounded, but you're going to have to pay for it, and there ain't going to be that many of them.
Yep.
So, but I'm really liking the the faction changes we made. Should be pretty good. I hope it's as well received as it was the FAQ.
Yeah, because you guys did that at the same time, right? It's just lumped into the FAQ.
Well, yeah. What happened was we didn't know Rob was going to put out that one, because everybody was asking us, all right, well, where the hell's this thing? Where the hell's this thing? And we're like, oh, well, Mantic wants to put it out nice on that,
Yeah, formatted the way.
Yeah, format it really nice and stuff and this and that. Well, you know, hey, listen, it's been 2 weeks and we're still waiting. Guys, Mantic is taking care of it. And then Rob's like, oh, I'll put it out. What the? What? So then why don't you put it out like, you know, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? That's the only thing I said. And then we just got together and he said, well, this is just a beta thing and you guys got time to fix it up. So there was like maybe, you know, a lot of the Facebook guys were asking questions. And I know, I mean, listen, Andy's a great guy and he's very even-tempered, but he just kept like, it's in the FAQ, guys, read the FAQ. Yeah, but what about this, this, and this? Guys, it's in the FAQ, just read it. Yeah, but what about the guys? It's in the FAQ. And there was maybe 1 or 2 questions that we added, but all in all, it was in there. But we just got together and did a 4-hour hangout and banged it all out with the factions.
Good.
So I ran the meeting. Andy basically scribed everything because he's really good at that. Like, you know, I wrote the Broodmother Splat and he put it in a way that sounds really good.
Yeah, so the verbiage.
Yeah, so it's, you know, I think because he uses the King's English correctly. So but you know, but it's good because we all have our strengths to it. And
yeah.
And I think I mean, I don't give, you know, you could call me on it, whatever. I'm very, very, very proud of what came out between the Veerman and then when the new stuff comes out. I think it's going to be really, you know, really well received. I think it's, you know, helps the factions a little bit more. There's a bunch of stuff I don't agree with. There's a bunch of stuff I do agree with, but you know what? It makes sense because certain guys have, like they said, their strengths, and it worked out. It worked out really, really well.
Well, and I think a lot of times people think that, you know, a rules committee is just a group of random guys, and it's not. And as much as people may say, oh, well, you know, you pick Coach because he's a name, or, you know, and
well,
again,
very handsome, you know. I mean,
yeah,
I hate
looking guy.
Stop! You're embarrassing me. Stop.
But really, what it was is we you know, I say we, but I assessed the group that we had, the guys who had stayed on, you know, that were there before, and we just kind of filled the gaps on what was needed, you know, in terms of personality or strengths, you know, to add to the group. Because, you know, you can add anybody you want to the group, but if they're not actually going to add anything to it, then, you know, there's no point in having them on there.
Oh no, I'm telling you, like me, Andy, and Shane are like best friends. Like I talk to those guys like 3, 4, 5 times a day now.
Well, and that was the thing. Everybody was actually worried about the 2 Andrews. You know, again, coming from 2 different, you know, worlds, so to speak. You know, obviously, you know, someone like yourself, who everybody always says is so brash. You know, but again, you know, someone very mild tempered and mild mannered. But you get 2 people like that together, and beautiful things will happen.
But here's the thing, though. I think I have an unfair reputation.
No, you do.
You know, because not for nothing, you know. I mean, these guys can attest to that. That's all bull crap.
It's actually much worse.
They probably, I think so. But you know who said it best? Dave from Wargaming. He says, "You're the nicest guy I've ever met, but when you talk, it seems like you're going to end me."
Well, maybe it's the New York in you coming out.
I guess, but you know, you can't change that. That's
well, and I think that's the thing where, you know, I think more so in the U.S. than anywhere else. You know, people get this reputation of where they're from. You know, you get, oh, that guy's from New York. You know, he's just, that's just, they're just a certain way, or, people from the South are slow, or, that's just, I mean, people are just going to have those.
I think the whole brash thing came about where we were talking about the Rebs. And the comment is that I called a bunch of things stupid, which I felt was stupid. Rob agreed with it, and he was actually more brash in that episode. But the thing I took umbrage is that I said things were stupid for the sake of saying things are stupid without giving an explanation, which is not true. If anything, I give too much of an explanation. That's when Rob has to reel us in, like, oh, okay, guys, let's get back on track here, and it's, that's the thing. But, you could agree or disagree with me, but I think I always make sense.
Yeah.
At least, you know, it's not like, all right, I think this should happen. I think we should make Strider's troops because I said so. If I'm going to say that, then I got to have something to back it up.
Yep.
And I don't understand what that guy was talking about. You know, I was too brash and I don't know what I'm talking about and this and that. But I think maybe, you know, he was a little hurt that he wasn't on the rules committee. So and that's okay. You could do that too. But, you know, I think you made the right choice, and I think we're doing a good job. And
no, well, the proof is in the pudding, as they always say.
Right.
And I think the FAQ has been done great, and I think it'll be awesome. So we just need to, you know, like you said, people are going to have their things to say regardless.
But, you know, if you come at it where, you know, we're trying to make the game, no one on the rules committee. I don't think in any rule, you know, the rules council, the rules committee. I know I was talking with Schultze about it because now that he's on the Warpath one, no one. You could have a huge difference of opinion from anybody, but you're coming from it where you're going to try to make those games better. No one's trying to say, like, you know what, you know, like in Warpath, we're going to make Flyers OP because I want it to be that way because I play Enforcers.
Yep.
It's this way because it's this way. All right, well, why is it this way? Make me believe, you know, because that's what it should be. Yeah, I was a little frustrated at the beginning. I know I sent you a message, but it's almost like you're running for office and you have to make them see the way you
Sure.
have to present it in the right way. And I'm glad that I just kind of, all right, how can I make these guys realize that I believe so much in this rule that the change should be there? How can I word it in a way, because I know what I'm talking about. I just got to present it in the right way.
Yep.
And it's more, you know, you got to be diplomatic. I know Rob and Jack had to under and over about I was going to be out, bastards. But you know.
Yeah, there was talk about you rage quitting at a certain point, but
Listen, me rage quitting and me actually figuring out the way to get it done is two different things, you know?
Yeah, we realized later that you're just too stubborn to rage quit.
Right. Truer words could not have been uttered.
Well, and I think most people on the group are that way, honestly. You know, they may not be as outwardly vocal about it, you know, about, you know, I'm going to make this work and I'm going to figure it, you know, but, you know, I knew Shane was very committed to it. You know, Andy, just in talks I've had with him, you know, over Facebook and, you know, so, and the other guys were already there, you know, we kind of, you know, gave, you know, that they put in work and, you know, they, you know, we wanted to see if they wanted to stay and, you know, thankfully they've stayed and it's all worked out.
Now, how many guys left? The Dead Zone one, was it always 5 guys and then 3 left, or
no? I think there was 4 to 5 that fluctuated. We had one of the big things that, you know, one of the changes I'll say that I suggested and made was not having guys cross systems.
Yeah.
And the only time that changed was when we did Warpath and Firefight, just because the games, you know, are so similar. So there was no need to have 5 guys for Firefight and 5 guys for Warpath. So there's 5, possibly going to be 6 in that group, but they're kind of split down the middle, and, you know, 3 are going to kind of focus on Firefight, 3 will focus on Warpath. But yeah, we try to, you know, we set the number based on what needs to get done per the system. You know, if say somebody drops off from the Dead Zone committee and you guys say, hey, look, we don't need to replace that member, we know that we can do the work, then we're not just going to run out and say, okay, you know, Joe Schmo, you're going to step up and be in there.
right? Yeah, that's good.
And we also try to have, we try not to have guys on there that, or girls, we're not going to be sexist, that do, you know, that write rules for us. You know, we try not to have guys on the committee that are actively, you know, making products for us.
Right.
Because people don't always agree with me or understand it, but, you know, you will have those conflicts of interests, you know, when guys are making rules, amendments or rules clarifications on stuff that they wrote, because they may just be biased to make it a certain way, as where the collective whole may say it's probably not the way it should be.
Right. He's going to defend his
initial, this is why I made it this way, or this is why I wrote the rule this way. I'll tell you what, I might be playing these Forge Fathers, or my buddy might be playing these, because they're just about done, and there's a lot of Pathfinders to paint for those Enforcers.
Well, especially that incredible list.
It's just it was too glorious to pass up. I had to.
Yeah, I get a message. Hey, Coach, what'd you take to Adepticon last year? Then Joe goes, "Oh, look what I'm painting." Oh,
it was same day, man. It was same day. You told me the list, and I was like, I think I have all of those models.
That's all right. That's all right. I will take it as a compliment, because I don't know it'll come that fast from you guys. There's veiled compliments in there.
These veiled backhanded compliments you give.
But I like that list, man. I ran that list, and but the thing is what people don't realize is I didn't make a list and then run it. I made that list in January, actually in December, and started playing it.
Sure.
And that's like, maybe, God's honest truth, maybe the 12th iteration of a list.
Sure.
Tweaking it constantly.
I don't think people that, if for guys that are kind of like, semi-competitive, or, they pop in and out of tournaments, I don't think they truly understand what goes into a list for guys that are serious about it. Again, I always have to reference Kings of War, because that's just what I had been playing for the, the past couple of years. But even in, when I played Warhammer in 40K, I played, when I worked for GW, we worked in the head office, and, we had the bunker attached to it. I played anywhere from 7 to 8 games of Warhammer a week. Mm-hmm. Obviously when I got married, that toned down, but that's all I did. I just grinded it every day. I didn't care who was around. I'd play whoever, but it was just constantly, like you said, my rule of thumb was always 10 games. I'd give any list that I had, I'd give it 10 games, and then you can kind of say, okay, well, this doesn't work, or, this could be better. But, people just assume, you pulled the list out of a hat and it worked.
No, nothing could be further from the truth, But that's the beauty of it. That's my favorite part. I know Jack and Rob don't like it, but I love making lists. Like, I'll sit on the cam with my iPad and come up with 30 lists.
Oh yeah, I don't know if people get annoyed about it on the Firefight Facebook page, but I do it constantly. Hey, I was thinking about this list, or
I like doing it. It's just I need an app. I need to be able to very quickly cycle guys out. I know Coach is a pen and paper kind of guy. He'll make a little spreadsheet, and
yellow pad and a pencil.
And 20 Reb snipers.
Yeah. I need an app, and I've got a really good one I use. I've touted it many times. Hopefully Mentimantica, Mentamerica, whatever it's called. Hopefully the updated Veerman list, he does the updated Veerman soon. He hadn't by the time we were spoilers. We recorded a team building exercise for the Veerman, and he hadn't updated anything by then. So,
well, he was probably waiting for the nice typesetting, but then it came out as a Word document. So
it is a beta written right on it. So maybe he was just like, you know what, I'll wait until it's official. But I'm hoping to see a nice new shiny, so I can play around.
Now, what about Mantic giving us an app?
Yeah, let's not go there.
Okay.
No, we've got the Kings of War app, which was a genius idea, but again, just some of these things, we just are good at some things and not so great at others. The back end of things with those apps are great, but only when they work. And and just having somebody to constantly making sure that they're updated and they're running smooth. It's definitely something we want to do and spread out. But so far, the first attempt for Kings of War has not been what we wanted.
Now, what about just like letting a third party guy do it? Because like Jack was saying, that Mentamantic guy, whatever his name is, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, we're completely open to that. We had somebody do the Dreadball ranking system that will go live once we re-release Dreadball for the second edition. But yeah, I mean, at that point, it's just sometimes working with developers and what they want to do. And again, it's not the creating. You know, we have no problem paying somebody to create it, but they typically don't want to provide tech support after the fact. So then you go from, well, hey, we created the system for you. Well, now you have to go figure out how to fix it. You know, and they might stay on for 30 days, you know, after it goes live or after you sign the contract. But after that, you're kind of on your own. And then if they help, you're paying them more to do it. So, you know, it's more than just yeah, hey, let's do it and I'll be happy about it.
Right.
There's a question in the chat there, Coach. You see that?
Joe in Arizona, what's up? What's up, y'all? Just saw you be live. I'll be listening, but one question, if I could. Any news on when we see something new from DEADZONE this year? Any guess when we will see Corporation and Zor? From DEADZONE, Corporation should be out. Joe, should be out like
October.
Week? No, list-wise.
Oh, the list. Yeah, the list should hopefully be posted up next week. You know, we are doing a faction booster and a faction starter for the GCPS, which will be out in October. From the last I looked, but yeah, the list should be out, you know, next week. You know, fingers crossed that nothing else pops up between now and
then. Zor for it, I don't think so. The next Zor-like thing that's going to come out will be the Nameless.
Nameless, yeah.
Which I can't wait.
Yeah, and with those new models coming from Star Saga, it's going to be a pretty exciting time for the Nameless.
Oh yeah, I got 3 of those coming. I got
yeah, we got a bunch coming too.
I got the one, and then I think I ordered 2 more
of the Nameless miniatures, or
yeah, the faction booster, whatever.
Oh yeah, okay.
So it was like you were getting the Nameless in the
Star Saga. Oh, that's right, but then we did a separate packs for him.
I can put on this damn thing.
I'm excited about the terrain that we're going to be doing some more of those like terrain accessory packs for Star Saga, which will obviously be good for DEADZONE as well.
Yeah. Well, the terrain crate, remember they had the sci-fi one? That's basically the Star Saga stuff, right?
It is, yeah. It's basically the stuff we were doing for that. So,
yeah.
But you know, the terrain we just constantly get hit up on with, you know, hey, when are you going to do more? When are you going to do another pack? So, I think that'll be a pretty big focus for us going into next year.
Right.
And rightfully so, because the terrain is awesome, and I think I've seen more people from different games pillaging and using, and at Adepticon there was so much the Battle Zones terrain being used for ways I hadn't even imagined.
Yeah, and it's funny, you know, that stuff. It's almost, even to the veteran hobbyist, it's a very daunting product when you just kind of open a box and it's just piles of plastic tiles. But once you kind of get used to working with it and seeing what pieces you have, I mean, you can literally make anything that you want.
What was that? You mean the furniture and stuff, or is that what we? I'm sorry.
No, the Battle Zone terrain, like the sci-fi, like the ruined industrial terrain.
Yeah.
The pipe sets. Yeah, that stuff's been, and even, you know, it's funny with, you know, we sold through, you know, a ton of it, and then when GW did their whatever they want to call it, the basically Necromunda.
The Armageddon one.
Yeah, the Armageddon one. People were like stores were beating down the door. Hey, what do you have in for it? Because one of the things that their terrain kits, which are beautiful, that have always been a problem though, is that you can pretty much only build what's on the box.
Right.
Yeah, you can cut and and modify, but it's just what is shown is what you're going to build. But they don't have any walkways. Like there's no gangways or ways that you can connect the terrain, which is what everybody wants from from the Battlezone sets.
The only thing with the Battlezone sets for me was I didn't know what to do, like what my configuration would be. So it took me forever to figure out what I wanted to make.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's one of the. It can be daunting to crack it all open and go, okay, well, what do I want to do with it?
The worst for me was I was so jealous after we built everything, and some of the fans were sending into the podcast, "Oh, this is what I built. This is what I built." And I look and go, "That's what I should have done."
That's what I should have done.
There's so many good ideas that came out, and you look and go, "Oh, the possibilities." And I yeah. Some really inventive and some really, really out there designs that I would love just to play on that board. Never mind, like, do it myself. Just pull that guy's out.
That would be like that guy you played at Adepticon. Remember you were teaching him? He's like, well, I listened to this podcast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was
me. Talking about you guys?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, I listened to this podcast with these guys on it. They talk about Dead Zone all the time, and
Did you like the show?
Yeah, that'd be worse if you just had them.
Terrible. I hate it. Those guys are morons.
Yeah, I learn more right now than I ever did listening to that crap.
Well, that's probably true too, though.
Well, that's why you hired me, right?
Yeah.
Still waiting for that check, but yeah, okay.
Keep holding your breath.
My Mantic bucks. I'm waiting for my Mantic bucks. Rob, are you trying to escape from something? What the hell are you doing?
Packing up my paints.
You sending them somewhere?
I'm moving soon, so.
Oh, well, then you are.
But Joe, you'll be happy to know that Rob will be in New York for the 30th.
That's good, and he's going to play.
Yeah. You can beat down on me and throw it in my face. It's all good.
Throw it in my face. Don't worry, I won't. We won't do the trash talk between us. We'll just have a, if we play, we'll just have a casual, laid back. I'll still play to win, but I just won't talk about what's actually going on.
Nah, it's all good. Should be fun.
It's funny though, because everybody so if you guys have ever watched Family Gamers, I mean, obviously you guys know my son and my nephew, Ryan, and so Ryan's like, when's the tournament? I want to take off because he actually just graduated. He's going to attend the University of Delaware, and going
to be the next Joe Flacco.
Yeah, well, we should hope. And then he said he's going to take the whole weekend off, and he says tournament's good because you don't have to go to school till like 2 weeks later and whatever. And I said, yeah, Rob's coming down. He goes, oh man, can we do a bat rep with him for the channel? And I said, sure. And then Andrew's like, well, I'm doing a bat rep with Rob for the channel. I said, okay. So Rob,
I got my times.
Your dossier is full.
It's good though. That's good.
I told him, I was like, there's going to be a time where we got to hang out. No, but we can get a few games in. Like, they're looking like 8.
I think we should get like a hood or something for me, and you could just drag me in and rip the hood off and say, play. Like you kidnap me.
Like from the airport, we'll come up from behind you and just put the,
Yep. Just videotape the whole thing. Man.
We'll do like
I
what
show
was
up
that?
in a
Remember old school? If you say
Yeah.
anything, I'll come back and I'll kill your family. No, I'm only kidding. He'll be back by dinner.
Or you can just open a big trunk and pull him out, and he's in a gimp suit.
God,
You always got to go there, Jack.
he does.
Too much Pulp Fiction.
I was channeling my inner Zed right there. You are correct.
Well, I think we should wrap this up on that note. Since where else can we go from here?
On the gimp?
Yeah.
All right. So you guys want to sign off or?
Sure.
Yeah,
I've been
I got a lot done. I got 4 models completely done. So
I'm almost done with these Striders. I'm very close.
looking good.
I actually put decals on it.
Decals. Got the decals.
Look at that. See that?
8.
Fancy.
That is fancy.
And then you know what I got to do just for Jack? I got this one. Number 3.
Number 3.
So until next time, have a good one.
Hey, it's my show. I end it. All right. So until next time, have a good one.
All right. See you guys.
Say goodbye, Jack.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.